Here at Rafferty's Restaurant. Rafferty's is the home of course, great food. Mike Mann, the home of the sandwich we like, that open-faced prime rib.
Ooh, that's the best sandwich in town.
And tonight we got a lot of coaches in with us. First off, we got, of course, John Lawson of Lafayette, Jonathan Hawks of Tates Creek. They're joining us. Want to thank all the coaches for coming out tonight. And guys, I know you're both excited about that.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to what we put together on the off season. We kind of started off a little slow this summer as far as getting kids together, and we changed up our practice schedule a little bit. They made things a little bit difficult for us, but they're coming together now. And after our strong performance against Lex Catholic last Friday night, I'm pretty optimistic about where we're going with our program.
You got some senior leadership back, correct?
Yes, sir, we do. And that's the most exciting thing. I mean, as most coaches know, to have a team that's just led by the players is the best thing to ever have. And so I have a bunch of guys that have been around for like 4 years now. Most of them have been playing since they were freshmen. So expectations are met daily. They understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. Their purpose is fully understood. And because of that, they work really hard. We just got to put those pieces together.
And Jonathan Hawks, you're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
You got some senior leadership back, particularly on your lines.
Yep.
Your offense and defense lines are looking strong.
Yeah, we return a lot of kids. I mean, we'll have size. I think when we played both our scrimmages, we were pretty much, physically, I guess the same size, if not bigger than the lines we played against. So, which was awesome, right? But we, I'm sitting back in the offseason thinking, man, we ain't gonna have a whole lot of seniors this year. And then I look up, we got 19. So I'm like, wow. Yeah. So we got a lot more seniors than I anticipated, which is a blessing.
That's really good. 19. That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm going to hit both of you to follow up Gary's good question there. I know you do a little bit about this. I don't know much, John, what your practice is or how you do it, but you like to develop leaders.
That's right.
And you've talked to me about that before. Just give me a little short synopsis of what that means, and then maybe, John, you jump on.
Yeah, so, we talk about, again, I've done an interview in the past couple of weeks, and I've said we're young, but we have 19 seniors, right? So that don't sound really young, but we are. A lot of the stuff that we do is development. So I develop not only on the field but off the field. So I do a lot of mental health with my kids. So we do a lot of mental health sessions throughout the off season. Where I am in track, a lot of times I'm not able to be at the football workouts. So when I am able to get in there, that's just really just a, to me, I always call it a transactional opportunity to talk to your kids. So it's something that brings us together, football. But the off-field stuff is what I really cater to the most, which is 6 a.m., feeding the kids in the morning, but then getting together with them and also trying to develop them to become better people. Those are the moments I cherish the most, because when it's all said and done, I felt like, at least I gave them a person, which is Jonathan Hawks instead of Coach Hawks, outside of just walking in the weight room, watching them lift and critiquing them on what they need to get better at. They got a chance to know me as a man. And so that's something I'm big on. I've been doing it for 5 years, and totally, at the whole time I've been at Creek, I've been doing it in track for the last 15 years too. So I just enjoy that part of coaching.
John?
This is exactly why I respect this guy, because we think alike in a lot of ways. So there's a couple ways that I do it as well. I usually have a leadership committee where guys have earned that opportunity. The biggest thing is all the off the field stuff as well. So my job in the building, I'm the hallway mentor. I'm like a dean of students, but not a dean of students, but I get to relate to the kids all day long. So I constantly, and I'm always thriving on making sure that their expectations are being met, they have integrity, accountability is very, very important to me. So the discipline that comes with those three pieces will grow them to be great young men. And so if I present that on a Friday night, if I'm not arguing a call on a Friday night, I don't expect them to do the same, because we're going to move on to the next play. So how I conduct myself will show you how my team will conduct themselves, and we kind of build from there. But presenting and mentor leadership is the biggest thing that I love to do.
Very good.
Well, coaches, you're in the 6A football.
For our kids deal with so much more than the normal football team. My kids deal with a lot of doubt, and that's just me being honest. 517, and that's just where our school is, and a lot of people misunderstand that. They misunderstand that anytime we're representing that zip code, we're just putting pride in our community. We're really embracing where we're from. We're not afraid to be, where we're at, and so I've been trying to instill that confidence in our kids. And right now, we're in a place as a program where our kids are past that place of fear. When I first took over, there was a fear. They used to fear playing those teams. The reason why we have the schedule we have is because they're not afraid to play any of these teams. Right now, it's just, confidence. It's not that they're afraid. If they were still afraid, I'd be playing a different schedule. They're not afraid. It's just over. I think y'all will see a difference because I'm a confident guy. I'm I'm competitive too, but I'm understanding, and you got to understand your kids. You got a lot of kids that go hungry. You got a lot of families that can't afford a lot. I do a lot of stuff, to make sure that these kids are taken care of off the field. We feed them a lot because we have to. A lot of our kids are hungry a lot. Sometimes the parental support doesn't look the same as it does at other schools. So I'm battling a lot more than just football. And unless you really know what I'm dealing with on the inside out, you don't really understand our kids and what challenges they deal with every single day to show up. So do I think that we'll eventually be able to get over that hump? Yeah, of course. But I think it's one of those things where Roy Walton had this program humping back in the day with some really good support. And right now, those same guys that played for Roy Walton and even Joe Ruddles and those guys, those are the men that's coming back and helping me build this thing back to where I feel like we should be at as a dominant program in 6A.
Yeah, I like the fact that you bring previous players in or welcome in or coaches in, to come talk to you or whatever. John, I was first coaching at Bryan Station.
Mm-hmm.
We had to take that film after the game at 3 in the morning and drive it somewhere.
Yes, sir. I remember
to get
the days.
developed.
I had to do that too.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah. So how do you do it now?
I give it to the young coaches because that is a part of the world that I'm not used to. I'm old school like you. I grew up differently. Pen and papers, the way I used to do chalkboard, we did the things. So as they developed ideas of how to scout other teams, we have a little flying thing now, whatever they call it. Drone now. I'm just like, that's all you. You know what I'm saying? As long as you can operate it, you can utilize it to help the kids learn in that way, and it's more efficient, then that's great. And so I think that's just kind of the way they do things. But to kind of talk about what he was saying, I have so much value with understanding what he does because each of our programs have something different that we have to deal with. He has his and I have mine. And as far as how we approach other teams, we take care of ourselves. Like I don't talk a lot about other teams, not because I don't respect them, because one thing I have control over is my team and how we perform and what we do at practice and how we respond in games. So whether we playing a Trinity or whether we playing inter-squad scrimmage, my job is to make sure we're doing the things we're supposed to do at every play all the time to make sure we're successful as a team. And so that's kind of how I build towards any game that we play. It's us against us, and then we're going to play somebody on Friday night.
And Coach, you've had a lot of success in your district. You went undefeated, I think.
Don't say nothing like that. Look, he get mad at me right now.
I mean, but you've been undefeated, I think, the last couple years in your district.
Last 3 years.
How have you done that?
I'll be honest, and it's to his credit, they're not backing down from us, and our kids know that. They know when we play Lafayette, they're gonna play us as hard as they would play anybody, right? And they know we play Dunbar. Dunbar's gonna give us a game. I mean, we could be 10-0 going into that game, and they're gonna play us like they were 10-0. You know what I mean? And we know that. And as a coaching staff, I have too much respect for him and Coach Wes Johnson, and for now Philip Hawkins. I have too much respect for them to try to act like we can just overlook any teams in our district. Like, we have to prepare for them, just like we prepare for Trinity or anybody else, because that's how much respect I have for them as coaches, but also their programs and what they're trying to do. Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to go out there and just lose a game and act like it's okay. No, their programs are trying to do the same thing we're trying to do, and we're trying to win and succeed. So our kids know when it's not, some people take the approach like, man, when he gets to district, we're going to start taking it. Nah, we're preparing for district every single day that we come to work, because at the end of the day, they cannot take a back step to anybody or any day that we got to work. And last thing I'll say too, just about our kids right now, the one thing that hurt me the most when I hear people, especially last season, talk about the expectations of our team and our program, and we had a lot of kids. We had 14 kids sign scholarships to go play college football. That's a lot of kids, and we had 4 go do track as well. That's a lot of kids from one football program, but we're getting it done at our school. And the one thing that really nobody understands is a challenge. That was a heightened alert right before the playoff game, so it limited the crowd that we had at our first playoff game. Nobody understands how much that messes with the mind of our kids. So you have a outside something happening right in the neighborhood. Now every kid got to stay inside of the school. They're thinking about whether or not it's their cousin, their uncle, their brother, or somebody in a neighborhood that might have gotten, shot or something, right? Well, our kids are sitting in their lockers processing that. And then I'm having to check kids right before the game to make sure that their mental stability is good. So now you're asking us to go play a football game after they just dealt with that maybe 2 hours before. Those are the challenges that our kids go through. And so it is a little different than most programs, which is why I tell people all the time, it's hard coaching where I'm at. But I'm also respectful of the fact that I love where I'm at because I wouldn't want to do it nowhere else. Like, I love Taste Creek that much. So,
well, that's pretty appropriate considering what happened here in the city.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the nuts and bolts here real quick. John, we'll start with you. How is the health of your team now as you go into the first game of the season?
Oh, we're sitting up there really high right now. Coming out of 2 scrimmages, I have one first-year guy that has an ankle sprain. Everybody else is as healthy as can be right now. So as we continue to develop the rotation guys, to give the starters a little bit more of a break when need be, that's going to help us in the long run. We just want to make sure that we're expanding in all areas so we don't overuse somebody like a Jackson Grants. The guy can do it all, but he needs a break every now and then too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So as long as we continue to develop the younger, inexperienced, some guys that can come out, it's going to help us. But right now we're sitting really well going into the first game.
Yeah, Jackson Grant's a fine talent. He's a big talent for you, Coach.
Yes.
He does a lot of things. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yes,
Let's
he
just
is.
call him that. Both coaches, Jay Hawk and John Lawson, tell us about your quarterback, because that's so important in high school football. The quarterback is always the big, like he had a great quarterback in his son being Meehan, but not everybody has that. Tell us about your quarterback and how it's looked this preseason.
So I'm thankful. I ain't go on and on. I get emotional talking about my kids. I ain't gonna lie, like we, because they get doubted so much, and I'm always there, to lift their spirits up. And my quarterback Ace Davis is a young man who's had to truly grow into this opportunity he has. I mean, there's been conversations of, Coach, am I, good here? Is my mind should be somewhere else? I'm not gonna lie, as a young kid in this day and age, kids think about, well, if I go to this school, and blink. We played against Douglas, and he had to step in pretty much after the second quarter. It was his show. He didn't blink one time. He didn't get afraid, and he was, asking, Coach, what else can I do more? And when you got a kid like that that's not afraid, he took the offseason to change his body. He throws the ball really, really well, and he was voted captain yesterday, so the kids are really believing in him,
Yeah.
So from my view, I think I got a really great deal with Ace.
Coach?
Yeah, so for me, 5 years in, 5 years brand new quarterback.
Yeah.
So I've yet to have a season where I've had a seasoned quarterback, a 2-year starter of such. And considering that being the case, we've still been somewhat successful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, sometimes the shortcomings of our play at quarterback has limited some of our wins in our games because they may have tried to do too much. Kondo last year, if he'd have ran a little bit more, maybe things would have been different, but everybody likes to throw the ball.
Yep.
So this year, even up until this day, we're still down to 2 guys. We have a sophomore that's status-wise looks the part, can throw very well, got a lot of inexperience, can't read the defense yet, still got a lot of reps to go there. Got another guy that's played football for a long time, but he's never really played quarterback before, got a decent arm, but he's also a good runner. So we really got to figure out who we are, our identity as a team, and how we're going to place that. And even after the last 2 scrimmages, we're still trying to, really figure out how we're going to do that. We are definitely deep in the run game. We have good, really, really good running backs. So we may lean on that a little bit more until they continue to develop with some experience. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it, but we hadn't solidified that guy yet.
That's really important. Like he said, I know that from years of experience with coaching quarterbacks, and I think that's really important. I want to say something here. I'm going to try to, if I can, each group that comes in here. Something I'm really, really excited about and proud of. The Lexington African American Hall of Fame is coming up in September. I know Dougie Allen's going to be inducted this year. JD was inducted last year, I think. You guys need to be in there sooner or later. But honestly, I am just so excited about that, so happy about that. There's a little restaurant downtown we went to called the Blue Skillet.
Yep.
And they have all the pictures up. Now, there's a lot of black people come in there, but Gary and I go in there, and we know more people on that board than all of them put together.
That's right.
We either coached them, broadcasted them, or coached against them or whatever.
Yes, sir.
So I'm really happy about that. I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is coming up. Big time deal.
Yep.
I'm going to be there, and Ben is flying in from Germany.
Wow.
Ben is a commander of a base in Germany, Air Force, and he's flying in so he can be with Dougie when he gets inducted.
Nice.
So,
Wow.
That's a big
That's
deal.
awesome. Yes.
Big deal.
Yes.
And that's coming up. When is the date on that? September 20th?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's coming in the 16th, so yeah, it would be about the 20th.
Okay. And that's coming up, the African American Hall of Fame. That's a big deal. And we got with us Jonathan Hawk, Stage Creek, John Lawson from Lafayette, two of the great coaches in the area. We were talking with them. And guys, I got to ask you, if you don't mind, your first opponent is Woodford County.
Yes, sir.
Saturday night.
Yep.
Your first is North Laurel.
North Odom.
North Odom. So tell us about, I know you haven't done a lot of pregame, but you've done a little bit. It's only Monday. But tell us a little bit about your opponent coming up this weekend.
I mean, it's another team that I really feel like is, got a good, I'd say a great stability about them. You know, Dennis came in, and I think a lot of people kind of overlooked the fact that he took over a program that was, people forget his first 4 years. You know, he had to struggle through some really hard times, and when he finally got it rolling, he's been able to keep it going. And so I respect that about anybody who's stuck through the hard times. It's easy when it's good. You know, it's hard whenever it's at the bottom and you're trying to pull it out of it. So we're going to play a hard-nosed program. We know that, but I'll be honest, it's just like Ryle last year. You know, I went in, I had 5-6 starters hurt, and my kids still didn't blink. You know, they still felt like they could have went out there and won that game, and I felt like we were young, and for us to still go out there and have 6 starters out and still compete, I was like, man, I don't know how this is going to go. And, I know 37-0 don't sound like a lot. It sounds like a blowout to some people, but to me, with a young team, 37-0, and in that moment, my kids didn't blink. So it's just like this weekend. I feel good, feel like we're healthy enough to compete at a high level. And I'll be honest, I think because I have been quiet, I've kind of stepped away from the social media stuff and allowed my kids to finally just be themselves. Let's go to the man cave and work. Don't worry about what everybody else sees from us. Let's be unknowns. Let's get back to what it really matters to be a Tates Creek Commodore. And I think that's really helped the identity of us going into this game this week. So whatever we put out in scrimmages is just being kind of whatever. But I know, Saturday my kids got to come and play, and I anticipate them doing that.
Yeah, with North Odom, solid team, big guys, great quarterback, got a receiver, number 0, I forget his name right now. They're solid players. They're going to be next level players. And so for us, we're going to be more disciplined than normal as far as dealing with the run and pass, in particular the pass. I mean, we're going to have to really contain the guy in the pocket, and our cover guys will really have to do a good job of being in the zones, reading their routes right, and making plays. That's going to be where our strong suits are going to be. Our strongest part of our defense is our secondary. So if they can help close that down and maybe change the outlook of the game and make them run a little bit more, make the quarterback move a little bit more instead of throw the ball, I think that kind of has our advantage with a little bit of us running the ball a little bit more. But it should be a solid game, great competition for us, and I'm really excited with the kids because they felt very confident after coming out of that Lex Cath game on Friday night.
All right. Grading scale, A, B, C, D, F. Kicking. Your kickers.
Oh, A?
Good. Kickers.
Give you A+. I got a sophomore. You're going to hear about him.
I love that. See,
Yeah.
I like the plus. That was good. I got
Yeah.
an A++ guy because he can
Yeah.
do it all for sure.
That's good. That's
And
good.
he can run
You
if
need
he
a
had
kicker.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, my guy kicks off and goes make tackles. How many
Yeah.
people can say that?
Oh.
Not many.
look,
Not
I had a
many.
scheme against him, so I know who he's talking about. So I'm like, but this kid I got, I'm gonna put it out there. In 2 years, I can see him being a kid that gets a chance to go play high-level football somewhere kicking. Arsenio Love, he's a soccer kid, but He loves football. I don't mind bragging about him. He had to wait behind Blake Hitchcock last year, who was a really good kicker for me, signed with Georgetown College. Arsenio came in against Ryle because Blake was feeling something from a soccer game. I'm telling you, didn't blink, punted 40-yard punts, kick field goals, whatever he needed to do. And he can kick a 55-yarder. So what I'm saying is,
all right then, yes sir.
Well, I like Coach what he said. He said kicking, that's special teams.
Yep.
You know, your special teams got to be special.
That's right.
Well, are you going to lose a lot of games because your special team wasn't very special?
Yep.
But on the side of Lafayette and Tates Creek, the special teams are pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talk to us about it.
Oh well, we special teams. I mean, that flips the field. We've even identified some kids that are key kids that, you know, one thing I will say about this year's team is that we've kind of gotten to a place where depth is starting to be created from the kids that have been a part of the program. So we didn't lose a lot of kids from last year, even though it looked like we had a big senior class. We didn't lose a lot of kids because we've been playing a lot of kids fairly young. So these seniors that are captains have been with us for a year. So these are guys that have embodied what we are. And the guys that are playing behind them are guys that have stayed with the program for the last 3 to 4 years. So I feel like this is the biggest middle school class I've had. I've never had this many freshmen, so that's a positive, right? So my thing is if we can utilize some of these special team kids that are younger and really get them to buy into it now, I think this year we can finally get it going in the direction you want it to as a program. And I'm sure you would agree too.
Yeah, for sure. Special teams is the one facet of the game that you just can't overlook. It is, if not more important than the other aspects of the game, for sure. My guy is special too, though. Like, again, he can not only punt it 50-plus yards, he can
do it all.
Put in the end zone every time if he feels like it, and he can make tackles, and he can probably kick a 50-yard field goal as well. So
right.
we just have to be in a position where, one, we protect so he can get the balls off, make sure to do some great coverages, but we have emphasized that a lot, knowing that we have this guy. And so you'll see a lot more of Jackson kicking
Is he a
this
soccer
year.
player?
No,
Nah.
sir.
Track
Never
runner.
has been. Yep. Never has been. But like he bought in coming into his freshman year that he decided he wanted to be a kicker as well. So even with the school that's looking at him right now, they're considering him as a kicker as well as a safety. So that's how good he is.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the city, when you look at the city, you know, Lafayette and Tates Creek, Bryan Station, Douglas, Henry Clay, and who else going down the line? Who else we talking
Dunbar.
about?
Dunbar.
And those teams, you know, you have to have good special teams, but you also have to be a team that plays cohesive football. And you guys have done that on your teams.
Mm-hmm.
Your team is close, and it's going to stay close. And what do you? How do you think you're able to do that so consistently?
Let me go here first, because I'm going to say this right now. Not only is our district solid with coaches and players, we have that even in the city. But when I play against this guy right here, the challenges that he presents, not only with the confidence and athletes that he has, but the energy that your coaches bring at games, like it's over the top. And so my week of practice against Tates Creek is me being different. Like, I have high expectations. I'm usually not much of a screamer, things like that. You know, you just fall in line or we have a conversation, whatever. But I know at that point when we play Creek in particular, I have to match the energy because they make a big play and they're just like, whoo, and then we need to make a big play. And I'm like, oh, we need that too because we want to match the energy. So, you know, I think a lot of it is just homegrown. You just got to keep feeding into the kids what you believe in, when you want the expectations to happen, within the realm of doing the right thing all the time, and understand it. Your purpose as well as you do it is what's going to get you over the line. So we've played some really close games. Well, maybe not that first year, but the last year we played some really close games with Tates Creek, and I feel like my team just really fought to the end. We don't give up either.
No.
And so I think that's a huge attribute of my team, to just never give up.
Well, for me, I mean, it's the same thing. I'm telling you, like, it don't matter. I'm telling you, we can play Henry Clay and they can be. Well, last year I got, you know, that's different. Like, we came out, I think my kids were kind of they were ready to play that game, but I knew we played Lafayette. Those kids knew as soon as that game was coming on that week, they knew they had to turn their mind. They had to scout them and focus on them just like they would any other opponent, because at the end of the day, I know him, and I know he's a competitor just like I am. And I don't want to lose, but he don't want to lose either. So I know at the end of the day, there's going to be some fire. But I'm bringing fire all the time, and my kids know that I'm a fiery guy. So, you know, the way that John sees me a lot, he knows I'm like that in track too. We used to battle in track, you know what I mean? So, so I'm very having a high expectation, because I feel like, man, when I'm training a kid, they know what I expect, and I just feel like with our kids, the one thing last year I felt like I let them down because I allowed some things to go on that I normally don't allow to happen, and a lot of that was things that was out of my control, being at a place working and then trying to drive back and forth. Sometimes, you know, you don't get a chance to put your hands on the whole entire program at that time, but now being back on campus, being with my middle school kids, and then getting a chance to work with the high school kids, I want to say that discipline was a big issue, I think, for me last year, getting penalties. And we did 2 scrimmages and we only had 5 penalties total, and those 2 penalties came from 1 jump, and the other ones were like uniform stuff, right? They getting us for that stuff. So to see the discipline get better and to see us starting to really understand what the brand really needs from us has been awesome, and I think that's, like John said, homegrown.
I'll tell you what, Gary Ball, we need to do a daggone Lafayette Tates Creek game.
Yeah.
We can get fired up too. I'll tell you that.
Y'all,
I believe
listen,
it.
when you get done talking to your team, come and talk to us. Get us fired
That's right.
up.
That's right.
You know me, though, Jay. I don't think you get fired up too much.
Nah, you don't need to.
But anyway, we appreciate you guys coming in. I expect good season out of both of you. I think Lafayette is definitely, I don't want to say turned the corner, but you're definitely on the upswing. Same with Tates Creek. You've won the district the last couple of years, and same, you know, as far as your mindset, I think you got the same mindset this year. And I just want to say good luck to both of you.
Thank you,
we
sir.
appreciate you.
And good luck, guys.
Thank
John-
you, sir. Appreciate it.
John Lawson and Jonathan Hawks, the coaches at Tates Creek and Lafayette. We'll come back. We got Lexington Catholic coach on, Coach Clark, and LCA, the defending 2A state champions. Oakley Watkins is on with us. We'll take a break here on PrepSpin, and we want to thank Rafferty's.com right here at Rafferty's for doing this show, and also want to thank eCampus.com. welcome back to Rafferty's. We're having the coaches show tonight. It's been a great show so far. And with us now, Oakley Watkins from Lexington Christian Academy. They were the 2A state champions last year. Boy, I enjoyed covering your team throughout the season and the playoffs last year. What a magical ride that was.
Well, first off, thank you all for always covering our team. I think what you all do for high school athletics is pretty special. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, when you talk about my compass and the reason I got into coaching was to try and make kids' experiences a fun one, and to getting to see the smiles on our players' faces last year, I mean, those are just pictures in my head that I don't know that I'll ever forget.
And you know, Coach, you had to beat a gauntlet to get to the final. You had to beat Mayfield, Power. You had to beat Belfry. And in the final, it was who was it in the
Owensboro
final?
Catholic.
Owensboro Catholic. You had to beat some great teams to win that state title.
Well, that's why you schedule the way we try and schedule is I always try and say this, and Doug was the same way, that you never want to play the championship game and be kind of shocked, like, golly, like this is like, you don't want your last game to be by far the best team that you've played, and that's why we schedule the way we do. And our schedule this year is no different. That's for sure. So that helps set you up for that. But that 2A, I don't think people understand how deep the class is.
Yeah.
From I mean, you look at Owensboro Catholic, Clay Clevenger's got Somerset back rolling, Steve Stonebreaker's got Danville. I mean, they're a young team, and he's done a fantastic job. And then you've got your usual suspects, the Beechwood, Owensboro Catholic, and Mayfield. And now even in our district with Du Bois Academy, like, they're going to be 1A next year. Like, they will be a force to be reckoned with. Like, Coach Durant there does an excellent job. They're going to be really good this year, and I know, I mean, future-wise, they're young. So it's a tough class, very, very deep.
And you're talking about how tough the class is. All these are, if you notice that, all the head coaches are really special people in all these teams. But I want to go back to talking about your assistants, your staff. Is it staff changed any from last year? Is it the same?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. Continuity, and it's getting harder and harder. I'm sure any of coaches will say this, to find just coaches that are able to do it and put in the time that this requires you to do, and then also have spouses that are supportive of it. I'm fortunate to have one at home with mine. But yeah, our staff, we really only lost one coach, and that was Ryan Timmons, who is a dear friend of mine. He just actually took a assistant principal job at Franklin County High School, which is where we both went to school there. Yeah. He played with my brother, so like that was a big career move for him and his family. So I'm super excited for him. But everybody else on our staff is back, and we added Dearius Smith, who you all probably know that name, played receiver for us. He just finished up playing at Eastern Illinois, so he's going to help coach our receivers with Drayden Burton, who also played for me. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of guys on our staff that have either played at LCA or have been on our staff for a long time, so they kind of understand what it is. And for me as a coach, to have former players wanting to come back, our defense coordinators, Maddie LeBrick, played for me. Our tight ends coach, special teams coordinators, Trey Hood, played for me. And then you talk about D and Drayden, and then Will Vernon, coaches our defensive backs. Like, those are guys that have all played in our program that understand what it's about. So that's a really cool thing for me, to see them come back and be able to get back to these young people.
And you've got a really good nucleus coming back. Not only your quarterback Waylon is back as a junior, you got Harp, I believe, is it Harp, the tight end?
Hart, yeah, Conrad Hart.
Yeah, Conrad Hart, and you got Bodie Darling back. But you got some great players back, Coach, and LCA should just reload this year.
We're fortunate. I mean, last year we started 10 sophomores, I think it was, in the state championship game. So when you have that youth, but I will say, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about last year's senior class, the example and the selflessness that they just led with every day. Like, if my voice is the one that people are hearing more than anybody else's, we're not going to be very good. And last year's senior class was very vocal, but they also led by example. They were servant leaders and their true hearts, and that was something that those young guys really, I mean, they were taken under the wing of those guys, which really helped. So seeing these guys step into that leadership role as those juniors last year, they're now seniors, and sophomores are now juniors, has been really special to see. It's a special group of junior and senior leaders, that's for sure.
One thing I really liked about watching your team play, I call it situation football. Maybe it was just your seniors or your leadership or whatever, but you would get in these situations, important 3rd and 1s, in order you didn't want to punt, you were backed up. goal line situations, defensively especially, and you came through. These kids came through. They had total confidence. I think it's practice.
Well, we do situationally for us. Like we practice. I mean, our guy, especially on Thursdays, we're practicing 2-minute scenarios, making sure that they understand, like, where are you getting out of bounds? Like, they know golden rule for us. Like, to be successful in a 2-minute rule, I make them all repeat. You've got to have a positive improvement first play. I make sure that they're handing the football to the official that's right in the middle of the field to where they're not throwing it, where ball's rolling around the ground. And we've got short yardage, what we call exotics, that our guys get. I use the word exotic to try and get them somewhat excited. So we probably practice more 2-point plays than, I mean, most. That's just something early in my career. I was calling plays at Somerset, and we kind of ran out of 2-point. Well, we had 3 that we carried, and I thought that was enough. So you learn from those experiences, and our guys learn from those things. We practice onside kick. That was something Conrad Hart recovered an onside kick in the state championship game. We practice how you're supposed to field an onside kick. It's not our onside kick team. We just put pods of 2 and 3 to where if it goes over your head, you got to let it go. We're practicing those situations. So our guys, like, we want to be situational masters the best we possibly can. That's a testament to our staff, but also our players' attention to detail.
That's a testament to the leadership on your team. And when I talk leadership, Nash Whalen has a lot of leadership. He's only a junior, but he really showed it last year what a leader he was. I mean, that young man, he balled out.
He is, and I've said this time and time again, I know he's not the highest prospect rated in the state, but I truly think he's the best pure football player in the state of Kentucky. And what I mean by that is he starts strong safety for us. He starts quarterback for us. He plays every meaningful snap for us. He's a guy that runs it, and he ran for 1,000 yards last year, 2,500-yard passer. But he just loves football. Like, I mean, today we had our walkthrough, going through our prep for North Hardin. And he said, Coach, I want to make sure after practice we're going to go through this whole plan again together, just the 2 of us. He wants to see it on the board, wants to see it on the film. We're going to do it tomorrow because we had this tonight. But he is just so focused and obsessed with the process. He actually, that Monday after the season had ended, said, Coach, when we get back to work? And I'm like, buddy, listen, you were a teenager. You're supposed to enjoy this for a little bit. But he just loves the process. And that's one thing we do talk about a lot in the program is the process and not the end goal. Because if you fall in love with an end goal, most times, like that end goal is, if it doesn't happen, then you're going to see the season as a failure. And Nash is a process-based guy. He loves the process.
Well, going into your first game, how's your health of your team?
It's as healthy as we've ever been. It's funny.
Well, it's good to hear that.
Last year, we and I'll knock on wood with that, because last year we had, when we played Cal, we had 9 starters out, and we had multiple guys get hurt early. And starting quarterback was tore his ACL week 1. Our starting receiver tore his labrum in the first scrimmage against Bryan Station. So we just had a ton of early season injuries, and it happens, but we've kind of approached the offseason a little bit different this year. Like scrimmages, like we played limited reps for our guys. We saw what we saw and kind of just got them out. Let some young guys get some reps, which is meaningful and beneficial for those guys. But we're as healthy right now as we've been. We've got the typical bumps and bruises, soft tissue stuff, but we should have our full roster Friday.
One thing you've done, Coach, is as far as your offensive line, is you moved Mac Montgomery to the tackle spot from his guard spot. He was so good at guard, but he moved out to tackle, and I know he's performing well there for you.
He is, and Matthew is a unbelievable player. He's a student of the game, gets after people. He pulled a lot for us. Obviously, we're a big gap scheme team, so he's pulling on almost everything we do. But our tackles are involved so much in our screen game. We get a lot of edge rushers off the edge that we've got to have some athletes out there on the perimeter. We've got young guards, minus our big senior, Christian Shackelford, who's 6'7", 330 pounds. And
he needs some size.
Yeah, so putting Matthew on the tackle, maybe that might not be his best position. Like, he's unbelievable at guard. I mean, he's one of the best guards I've ever coached here at LCA. But putting him at tackle, it's what's best for the team. We always talk about in the offseason, we do what's best for the individual player. In season, we do what's best for the team. And we're going to still be able to get him out in the perimeter and move him quite a bit and do some things that really play to his versatility. But he is an incredible player.
Yeah, that's I realize that your offensive, your defensive line, and those are really important. But I like your linebacker play. Who is your linebacker coach?
All right, so Matty LeBrick, our defensive coordinator, is our linebackers coach, and then John Johnson.
When I said that linebacker.
Yes, it's that group there, and John Johnson's another one that helps coach. He's been on our staff for a while, but our linebacker play, I mean, obviously Mac Darlin was a heck of a player for us last year. He's playing at EKU, and he's already turning heads there as a preferred walk-on. It'll be a matter of time before he and Tyler King both are our scholarship players there. But Matty LeBrick coaches linebackers with John, and we've got a lot of experience coming back there. I mean, when you've got Thomas Sizemore, Aiden Lyons, Bennett Gonzalez, like those guys that are coming back with experience, I mean, Thomas, we actually didn't play him in the first scrimmage, and he came back and played in the second one, and we just were saying he just loves football. Just doesn't that's just what he loves football. And Aiden, everybody calls him Scrap. They say welcome to the scrap yard. I'll get out joking around sometimes playing slot receiver as a scout team receiver. Last year I caught an out route, and we keep our guys up in practice. We do no tackling to the ground. And Aiden took a helmet, gave me a helmet to the rib, and I was like, Aiden. And he was just like, he just doesn't know any other speed. Yeah. So even when I'm out there in shorts and a T-shirt, I'm like, buddy. So having guys like that as leaders on your defense to where they can just fly around, just make plays is pretty special.
You said one name there, Bennett Gonzalez. I know he'll be counted on a lot for running the ball, linebacker spot, everything. You'll be counting on him. He'll be counting on for a lot. And there's Coach Clark from Catholic coming in now to join us. And we appreciate
what's going on.
Hey,
you doing all right? Good to see you. Yeah.
I was asking you about Gonzalez, and we're going to ask Coach some questions too.
Yeah. No, Bennett is he plays obviously both sides of the ball for us. Had a really great year running the ball last year. Has had a great year in the off season in the weight room too. So it's gonna be cool to see just the impact he has on both phases and really even special teams. He's a special teams bandit for us as well. So it'll be pretty cool.
Coach Clark, welcome into the show. We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks. And, apologize for running late.
That's okay. We, better late than never.
Thank you.
You're here, so that's what counts. And Catholic got to the semifinals last year, one game short of the state. What are you doing this year to make sure your team can get over that hump?
We're just continuing to practice hard, try to develop our kids, put ourselves in good situations, and get ready for the season.
Okay, so who do you open up with?
We opened up with Ballard.
That's a pretty good opening game.
Yes, it is.
But that's not enough. Coach Oakley said that, and actually both coaches in the previous session that we're in here talked about you got to schedule tough teams early. So when you get to the finals, and you're not surprised by the skill level, your kids don't get shocked by the skill level of those teams. You feel that way?
Well, it also sets the tone for the entire season. So when you're preparing for teams that are good football teams, then that helps create your culture. It helps create how you practice and how you want to continue to practice throughout the season.
Coach Watkins told us about some of his personnel. Tell us about some of your personnel back this year for the Knights.
Well, we have 7 returning starters on our defense. Our defense was a strong part of our team last year. It's really anchored by Mark Hozinski on the defensive line. He's a returner, and he's a really good player for us. Then our linebackers that are returning is Jack Wedding, who has been playing since he was a sophomore. And so he'll anchor the linebacker play along with Ben Schlarman, who plays an outside linebacker for us as well. And then our secondary is quite experienced. It has Eric Smith, Baird Woodall is back, along with Beckett Brittingham, who was hurt all last year with a knee injury, and so he's coming back for his senior year. We're expecting big things out of him. And then Will O'Brien and Jonathan Harper will be our corners. So we feel like we have quite a bit of depth coming back on the defensive side of the ball.
That's a lot of good names right there.
A lot of names. We remember those names,
yeah, we remember those guys.
Because we covered LCA and Catholic a lot last year, and those were some names we remember. What about offensively, Coach? What do you see there?
We have several pieces that are back, and we're still trying to gel, kind of try to create our identity. Losing Brady Wasick, who was a really good football player, who managed our team really, really well. That's a big void trying to fill and trying to find out what our identity is and what we can do well.
And you're healthy, your team right now?
We're pretty healthy. Yeah, going into the first game, you're always healthy the first game, right?
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be, right? You're supposed to be, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, so, but that's okay. Okay, real quickly, any addition or changes in your coaching staff this year?
Dave Nurnberg, who is the athletic director and our defensive coordinator, he got an opportunity as an athletic director in New York, so he left over the summer and took a athletic director job at a Catholic school in Queens. So that's a pretty big void that we're filling. Nigel Smith, who's no stranger to Lexington Catholic and to the area, is taking over the defense, and so he's done an outstanding job. He's able to really step in and do a great job for us. So that's one of our major changes.
We know that name, Nigel Smith.
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah, head coach there for a while. Coach Watkins, you won the state in 2A last year. You went through some bumps early in the season. You ended up 12-3, your final record. But those bumps, did they help you along the road later?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the injuries we had early. And I think it's important as coaches to be disciplined, especially when you're at schools that are our size, to say, yes, we had those injuries early, but we can move bodies around and say, oh, you may play this position, but you're better for us here. We did not do that. We played young kids in some of those really important games early on, and took some early bumps. But those guys, when it got into the playoffs, like, they had played really, really good competition, and our depth was something that was a strength for us when we got guys back from injury late. And a lot of that was us just being disciplined, saying we're going to play kids at these positions even though they're young, and we may take some lumps early, but guess what? When it matters, I mean, it's most important for you to be playing your best football late in the year. Somebody asked me the other day, said, how you feeling? Y'all look great in the first scrimmage. I said, I hope we're not looking great in these early season games, because I want to see us continue to grow. And we did that. Week 1 in our first scrimmage, I felt like we were better in our second scrimmage, and that's what I want to see us continue to do, is just continue to get better game by game.
What's your offensive look like? What strategy are you using? What's your formation that you're going to depend on?
Yeah, I mean,
a ton. That's what it is. Tons of formations.
Yeah,
that's coach's specialty.
We want to be multiple. That's the best I can explain it. Is just be as multiple as we can be, and try and keep it simple for our kids, but make it look whatever it does to a defense. So that's really, I guess that's our philosophy.
You like to run the quarterback a little bit too.
We do.
1,000 yards. What do you think?
I know.
Yeah, we keep our quarterback where he's not live in the scrimmages to try and push Nash a little bit, because we do run him a lot, but we're trying to do some other things with him, and I felt like him not being live in the scrimmages forced him to do some things against 2 good football teams that we played, which was good for him. And that's something, when you see defenses like Coach Clark's, like, they are, I've said it all offseason, like, that was the best defense we saw all year last year. And I'm not just saying that because he's sitting here right now. That we've got to be able to do different things than just running the quarterback with Nash, and be able to make it look multiple and present different things, and push him to do some different things, maybe in the RPO game and the screen game that he hasn't had to do in the past. Now he's a year older, so it's been good to see him grow in that role.
They will get after you.
Oh, yes, they will. You get a bunch of multiple looks, that's for sure.
Coach Clark, with that defense, does that help your offense, progress in the course of the season?
I think it's no secret when you play good defense, you just try to have an offense that doesn't get in the way, and play good, sound football, try to win the turnover margin, try to win field position, and make teams take long drives on you. And, we feel like if we can get good field position for our defense and have somebody have to maintain 80-yard drives on us, then we feel like we're in a pretty good spot with our defense.
I want to say publicly on this show, The King Producing, really thank you guys, Coach Watkins and you, Coach Clark, for all the help you gave us last year, giving us lineups, 2 deeps. That's so important to a radio, to a streaming King, because if we don't have that, we can't announce your players. but you guys did a great job. But I'll be bugging you pretty soon before the Ballard game. So, who you settled in at quarterback this year, Coach?
Well, first of all, we really appreciate everything that you all do. Everything that you do to highlight our programs and highlight our kids, we really appreciate that.
Joy of love.
Our quarterback situation, we're still sifting through it.
Okay.
We're week one, we will go with Gannon Rudis. It will be a senior that will be taking the first snaps, but then you will see a sophomore jump in there too that will see some playing time in this first game as well, Nolan Phillips.
Okay.
All right, kicking game. We were talking to the previous coach that ran here,
Man.
Tates Creek and Lafayette, and they both said it's so important. And
Last
really
year, his
cost
guy
them.
kicked in the end zone every time.
Well, I don't want a guy that kicks in the end zone every time. I want a guy that kicks in the end zone when I tell him to.
No, I want a guy that kicks it in every
I do
time.
too.
Yeah.
I do too. I do too.
At the high school
I want
game.
to kick short sometimes so we can make a big tackle and get it back down.
The kicking game is just so important, and we lost two really strong kickers for us. James Barnett was a soccer kid that just came out for football, and he was just naturally can boot in the end zone. And J.J. White was our punter and also our field goal kicker, and just did an outstanding job for us. But they're being replaced by a sophomore named Jack Bandover, and we're really pleased with his progress. We think you're going to see similar production from him.
Yeah, I'm with Coach Clark though in terms of kick. Like, it's just hard to replicate a true kickoff in practice, especially when you're talking about depth and trying to keep your guys healthy. It's like that is one of the most physical plays in the game, so it's like you can't rep it a ton. So if there's a play that I have anxiety on, it is definitely us kicking off. Yeah. And that was the case last year. We had a really good kicker last year in Dean Hester. We had the twin brothers, or ones of triplets.
Triplets, yeah.
So they both Will, the long snappers at Dartmouth. He's snapping there, and then Dean's playing lacrosse at Williams College. So we've got having to replace that, and we have a senior, Sawyer Jones, who is doing a phenomenal job as a long snapper for us. He's been, incredible. And the kickers will be Brandon Shackleton, Nathaniel Walls, or Josiah Binky.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about your opening game. You've got the eCampus.com Bowl. That's coming up Friday. And you got two games. South Warren plays in the first one against Station. And then you play North Hardin, the second game. Coach, you opened up with Ballard, one of the perennial 6A powers. You played them last year. What did you learn from that game last year about Ballard?
Very physical, very athletic. They're gonna play good physical defense. That's where they hang their hat on.
Just like your team.
Very similar. Very similar. They have a good kicking game. They have a strong kicker. So I'm expecting a very similar game to the type that we played last year.
Except hopefully different result, right?
Of course.
Coach, talk about the eCampus Bowl.
Yeah, it's turned into really something that we take a lot of pride in. We've already got our teams in it for next year, which in the opener next year, Franklin County will play Bryan Station, and we're going to play Boyle County in the nightcap. So it's like it's been something that's really cool. We've got a great partnership with eCampus, and it's something that has been really neat to see our community come around it. It's turned into, teams really enjoy being a part of it. The coaches that are in it this year with Brent Thompson, North Hardin, Brandon Smith at South Warren, and JT over at Bryan Station are just all great coaches. So they're great to get to work with and go back and forth on things with. So it's cool to see the relationships and keep up with the four teams that play in it. Obviously, South Warren last year was in the 6A state championship game, and North Hardin with Brent, they're always extremely athletic. So it'll be a good test. I
don't want you to think ahead, coaches, but when is the Catholic LCA game?
They're not thinking ahead. See, they
don't know.
They don't know.
It's September 18th. Is that right, King?
Hold on 1 second.
He's going to check the schedule.
That's a lot of fun.
But we don't want to. You guys,
18th,
you guys don't want to think that far ahead. I'm sorry I brought it up, but we'll have that game. We'll be there for the game on PrepSpin. We got a lot of great games this year, don't we, Coach? We'll open up with Ballard and Lexington Catholic.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. And you mentioned the eCampus, that whole situation.
We did it the last 3 or 4 years.
Love it. And the kids have so much fun in there.
Yeah.
They're really involved. early in the school year. I mean, it's football. They've been all summer, and boy, they're out there celebrating, and they great student body. Both of you have a really super support teams, supporting in their student body.
It's important, especially you talk about administrative support too. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're fortunate. Our head of school, Cassandra Ketch, she's awesome. Our kids love it. We've got a pep rally on Friday that everybody gets excited about, and so it's something that we're really looking forward to.
What's my friend Paul Raines doing?
He is coaching offensive line. So I said for the longest time that I would never give up coaching O-line. I've coached it for forever, and Paul joined our staff last year, and just being in this new role, it was something like you needed somebody that you could really rely on that. And Paul's doing an awesome job, and it's really cool to see him back there where he's poured so much into the program. He said he's going to end his career at LCA, so he said he's going to coach as long as he can at LCA, and it's cool to see the pride that he has in the school.
Well, he's a special guy.
He is a good guy. Coach Clark, we really appreciate you making your way out tonight and joining us, even though you had some other commitments and so forth. But we look forward to seeing you Friday against Ballard.
Sounds great. Thank you.
That's Coach Watkins of LCA and Coach Clark of Lexington Catholic High School. We'll be back, and we got some other special guests coming up on the show. Anything from you, Coach?
No, I'm really excited about covering these games, and you know, he and I both we do get fired up about this. We really enjoy it, and I appreciate you thanking us and William for what he does.
Yeah.
He's the boss. He's the one that sets everything
He's the
up.
guy right there. He makes us all look good.
Well, he keeps us in line too,
Yeah.
so that helps.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this. We want to thank, of course, Rafferty's. We're here at Rafferty's on Star Shoot, or what road is this called, Coach?
It's one of those roads.
Yeah, it's one in Hamburg. Rafferty's Hamburg. And want to thank eCampus and also Whitaker Bank. We'll be back after this.
Very good, guys.
Thank you, guys. If that intro doesn't get you going, Coach, and you need to check the obituaries,
me
right?
going.
Because your
Yeah.
name's
Yes,
probably
sir.
in it.
Yes, sir.
It's PrepSpin's pregame show at Rafferty's Restaurants. We got with us two of the great coaches in Lexington. We're talking Wes Johnson of Paul Dunbar, and of course we got Nathan McPeak of Frederick Douglass High School. And welcome in, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you having us. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Thank you, Coach. And you look at the season. It's a new season. You both have tough schedules. So tell us about that and what you've seen in the scrimmage games.
Go ahead, Coach.
So we open up Saturday in Somerset's Bowl against South Laurel. Then we have Catholic at home our second week, and then go on the road to East and West Jessamine. We have Great Crossing, Madison Southern, and then we kind of start our district. The scrimmages have been great for us. We opened up at Franklin County and scrimmaged Franklin County, and J-Town was there, and found out a lot about our football team at that point. Obviously, Franklin County's got a great program, and J-Town's got kind of up and up. Coach Oldham there is doing a great job. And then last Friday we had a scrimmage at Lincoln and played really well, and again took another step in the right direction. For us, we've got good senior leadership. I've got 21 seniors this year, and all of them play a tremendous amount or start. They've been doing that for 3 years. They've been playing since they were sophomores. We've been taking some lumps, over the last couple of years when we were young, and we looked apart this year. We have some nice looking kids, and I'm excited about building on this season and seeing where we can go.
Coach?
Our schedule since 23 has been really tough. After we won the state championship, for us it's hard to find 7 games because we only have 3 guaranteed district games. So we'll start with Highlands this Friday in week 1, which obviously they're top 10 in the state. And then we have early bye week this year, and then we play Manual at Manual, which they're top 10, 15.
Yeah.
Then we got at Tates Creek, and then we play Corbin, and then we travel 3 hours down to Christian County, which is a new 6A school, which is like 3 hours away. So that'd be interesting for us. We'll have to leave pretty early and play a ball game. It goes into Central Time because it's in Hopkinsville.
Yeah.
And then we play Louisville Male during fall break, and then we get into our really tough district with Bryan Station, Madison Central, GRC, and we finish at Boyle. So no rest for the weary. I think 7 of the 10 games preseason are top 25 in the state. So, it's I'm fine with it. You're definitely gonna play the best of the best and go from there. And our scrimmage games, we scrimmage South Oldham and kind of like a combined joint practice style practice like NFL, which I really like to do the first scrimmage, and that way we get everybody reps, even our freshmen get some reps. But that's very controlled. We don't really keep score. We do plays of 10 in different situations, just getting good work in. And then on Friday we scrimmage Louisville St. X. So that was really cool to see Coach Landis, who's obviously our original head coach at Douglass, and he'll do a great job. They got a good defense, and they're pretty young on offense. If we had a block punt in the game, and the final score in the 3 quarters was it was 7-0, but it was because of a block punt. Otherwise, we might still be playing 0-0. Our defense is really good. We're very fast. We're very aggressive. Hopefully, we can continue doing that. And offensively, we got a ways to go. We have some guys back, but we have an elite running back, but we had way too many errors in football as far as sacks and negative plays in the scrimmage. It's early. For me, as long as we're making those adjustments and corrections moving forward, I want to be playing well in November like every other coach does. So it's a slow build for me, and I have 9 years of evidence being at Douglass Hall. We're going into year 10, so I've had 9 years evidence of our scrimmages, and they've all been about the same.
Yeah.
It's good, bad, ugly.
Well, you got to like Douglass's team this year, because if you look at UK's team, Harkless and Bryan are starting, right?
And CJ works.
And so you got 3 players starting for the University of Kentucky. So that's not too bad, is it, Wes?
Not bad at all.
Makes
nice
me a
problem
better
to have, actually.
Makes me a better coach.
You have that bye second week. I guess that's I don't like an early season bye, but honestly, his second week is better than the third or fourth week because you can play that first game and make a lot of corrections and still get ready for the next game.
Yeah, it'll be new for me. I've never had a week 2 bye week as a head coach, so I've actually asked coaches in college and high school kind of what their schedule. Do they keep it the same? What do they do? Because for us, it could be possibly playing hopefully 14 straight weeks. Because that's the goal, and that's a lot. So for me to manage some time off, kind of where we're at within the year, because we don't really have any breaks on our schedule, so for me really looking at having that early bye, and that was really set up. We always have played Trinity the last 3 or 4 years in week 2. Well, they had an opportunity to play an out-of-state opponent out of Missouri, so they approached us about them doing that. So of course I'm like, I'm not afraid to play them, but they're really good, and they need to go do that. They need to go play maybe an ESPN game or something like that. So they got out of our contract, so I lost a home game. So I only have 4 home games, and we're on the road for 6. But definitely something we're going to have to manage with that early bye week for sure.
Coach West, you have to really like your football team this year. You got a lot of key parts back, and tell us about your team this year.
Our defense is kind of like what Coach was saying is ahead of our offense right now. This is the 3rd year in the defense that we've been running. We run a really chaotic style of defense. It's fun for the kids. We bring a lot of pressure from a lot of different places. We have a lot of exotic alignments. We do some stuff that's fun, but also necessary for us because we don't have the guys up front to take on double teams all night. We've got to do a lot of slanting and blitzing and that sort of thing to be able to get some negative plays and get teams off schedule. I mean, that was I think for us 3 years ago before I went to this defense, I was like, we did a great job defensively, but we just could never get off the field. I mean, you couldn't run through us, but it was just one of those things. Everybody was just always on schedule, and I needed to do something different. And I think for us, we have to do something different as a school. We have 64 players in a 6A program, and it has a lot to do with all kinds of different deals where we are, and we have great dedicated players. They are 64 guys that are there all the time. They work extremely hard. So on defense, just a couple definitely standout guys for us. I think I would take one of my D linemen up against anybody in the city or in the state of Kentucky. I mean, we have a real good one in Luke Ayub, and he's a senior. He's a 21 mile an hour guy, and he's a DN for me. So he's a 340 bench. He's 6'1", 190. He's on the linebacker-ish size, but just unbelievable effort and intensity on every play. Tolly Carter is a senior that's on the other end of him. He's 6'4", 270. He anchors that. That's one of our. We don't usually have a lot of size, but he's a big kid for us. Our middle linebacker, Locke Loftus, is one of the state top wrestlers. He's 6'2", about 200 pounds. He wrestles in the heavyweight class in the state. He's an excellent guy, an excellent player. We have another Sam linebacker, Jack Forsyth. We've got some good secondary guys, some young ones in the secondary that I'm really excited about their future. We'll start a sophomore when he gets healthy. He fractured his fibia, a small hairline fracture in the fibia in our first scrimmage game, and he should be out another couple weeks, but then be cleared to play. And he's going to be a super kid. Offensively, we're spread options. So if you've seen any kind of Navy, Air Force, Army games, we're a flex bone team. Yeah. And again, we got to do something different. We can't just line up in a 10 personnel, spread the field, and we can possibly beat the teams that are even with us. But if we're going to have any kind of chance against teams that are better than we are, then we've got to be hard to prepare for. And really, that's what my goal is for Saturday morning, to be a problem, for the coaches to turn on film and have to do that. But our offensive line is, we've got really couple good seniors in Quincy Hancock and Josiah Hernandez. Josiah Hernandez was the district lineman of the year last year in our district. We have Ada Allah is our center, great kid. We've got Jay Sean Crosby, Jet Derringer, or Jet Bailey, my bad, on that quarterback. And then we got some talented wide receivers in Noah Barrett and Jackson Lukers. So, we've got some potential for sure. We got great senior leadership. We've been building for this, for a while, but our key is staying healthy. Our big thing, we don't have a lot of depth. If we get 3 or 4 injuries, to our starters, we could be in trouble. We just try to keep them healthy and,
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
You have a lot of soccer players in that school.
We got a lot of soccer players, a
lot
lot
of
of good baseball players,
Yeah,
a lot of
Hey,
Hey, our girls are elite now. I mean, in a lot of sports there, so they do a great job. But yeah.
Let me ask you this, Gary. They got a brand new field, and I just give us a little short synopsis. All of us would appreciate the fact that you got a brand new field, but you couldn't practice on it.
Right, yeah, so that's difficult. You got we load up the trailer with all our equipment. We park it over at Transylvania University. We're practicing on a soccer field all summer. And, it's great. There's turf, that sort of thing. But, every morning we're out there earlier than the kids get there, marking off with I've got a measuring wheel, and we're using one of the sidelines. We're like, this would be the sideline, and then we're measuring in and put cones for numbers and cones for hash and cones for the middle of the field. And then, of course, when you get out there, you don't realize when our kids went back and we were able to practice our field for the first time, all the kids were like, this place is small, because, soccer fields, just the distance that you are in, it seems like you're in a sea of turf, So it was a little bit of an adjustment because, obviously so much of football is alignments, to be in the correct alignment, being on hashes, you're on the hash, 90% of the game. You have to structure everything that way. When we practice at Dunbar, we never practice in the middle of the field. We're always on left hash, a right hash. I yell at my coaches if they stick the ball in the middle of the field, because I'm like, when are you ever going to be there? Maybe 5 plays a game, 4 plays a game, so why practice there? So the alignments are important. That was a big adjustment when we went to Franklin County. We had some alignment issues just based on that. We didn't have but a week on a field with hash marks. So that's important, when you're practicing football, all those details. So,
Coach, you got a running back named Dakari Talbert. He's pretty good.
Really good.
You mentioned you had some mistakes, and I tell you what, if you get that guy in the open field, he's gone.
Yeah, he's a Mr. Football candidate. He's still waiting on where he can commit. He's got a couple choices. Got some things he's got to finish up. But, he's, this 27 class in the state of Kentucky, in my opinion, is one of the better ones I've seen, depth-wise. I mean, you got Seneca, you got the kid from Louisville Cal, you got Dakari, you got 5 or 6 really good players.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Dakari's the best running back in the state, though. I mean, what he can do, and underestimate how good his hands are because he can run routes and catch the ball. And but again, our offensive line has to play well. Our tight ends have to play well because, as we all know, football is about 11 people doing their job. It don't matter how good he is if the other guys aren't doing their job. But, I mean, I limited him a lot on Friday against St. X, and I think he averaged almost 10 yards a carry. I didn't want him getting 20,
against
25
a good defense.
carries. Yeah, solid defense. So, I mean, he's definitely elite, and if we can get him in the open field, he's pretty good. So, we have a really good relationship. Obviously, he's played for me for 3 straight years. I coach his brother as well. That's at Ball State. So, obviously, we have a very good relationship, and I hope he has a great year. Obviously, I hope he stays healthy because we need him. He's our most elite player offensively. So, definitely everybody that runs a defense against us is going to say, where's number 6, for sure.
How's your any changes in your coaching staff this year?
Yeah, we had a couple of guys. John Gillen, which was a long time. A lot of people know him from Morehead State, and he's coached with me for the last few years. He decided to retire. from football, and he had put 30-plus years in and just wanted to enjoy some time with his family and grandkid, and I get that. So I hired Dante Key back, and a lot of people know Dante from UK, and he's Dane and Devin's dad. He missed Friday's game against our scrimmage because he was in Atlanta watching the Broncos and the Falcons. So it's pretty rare to have both sons on the same team on the same field in an NFL game.
Yeah, they played on the same. They were together too.
They're together with the Denver Broncos right now. So it's really cool.
They didn't have to leave their color either, did they?
I know it. So that's really cool. For him and to do that, and but hired him back, and then I've hired a couple new freshman assistants. But for the most part, South Oldham's head coach, we've scrimmaged with him the last several years, and he actually made that comment. He was like, you have a lot of guys that stay with you, and I took that as a compliment, So there's a lot of assistants that probably could go be head coaches if that's what they want to do, and they choose to stay with me because I let them coach. I give them parameters, and I let them do their jobs.
Coach, I'm going to interrupt. That's one thing that I brought that up, Gary, because I've watched your team, and your coaches do a whole lot of coaching.
Yep.
A whole lot of coaching, and they're involved right in the faces of kids, and
Yep.
they know where to be at all times. And
Yep.
I was always impressed with that because you do a good job of organizing that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like that's my job, more of a CEO type, especially with how big our program has gotten. And again, that's a compliment to a lot of people, but we're at like 138 right now, 9 through 12, so that's a lot of moving parts. And for me, I view it as kind of being like a principal of a small school. Because I got the players, I got the coaches, I got the coaches' families, I got the boosters, I got the players' families. So when you're looking at it, and he could tell you as a head coach, you got a lot of moving parts, as you know. Yeah. You have to wear a lot of hats. So for me, it's a lot of stuff that a principal would do in a small school. That you have to do in order to organize all that. But I got an excellent staff. Coach Poe does a great job with our defense and our defensive staff, and I'm more of an offensive-based head coach. I still coach offensive line because, that's just where I look. I played the position, and it's going to be really hard to satisfy me to hire that out. I know Coach talked about that with LCA because he's an O-line guy, and they're hard coaches to find, number one, and number two, I'm going to be, have an eye there. So I just go ahead and do it myself because it's important, and I trust my other coaches to get everything else done.
And you love it.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, your offensive line people, Coach, they love it.
Both these coaches, really, we admire them. We started early on doing some Douglas games early on, and we really enjoyed it. Dane Key was a key player that year, and same with Dunbar and Wes. What about your coaching staff? Who should we talk about there?
So we, similar to Coach McPeak, I've had a lot of guys for a long time. I've been there 9 years as well. I came the year after Douglas opened. So that's kind of, I'm almost on year 10. I'm almost over here, caught up to Coach Me, and think I need to go 2 more years for that. We'll see. But anyway, it's one thing that the coaches do bring a lot of stability and a lot of, familiarity.
You're right, and we appreciate you hanging in there too, and staying as long as you have. And Coach Babikas, he won a state championship.
Yeah.
What was that?
2022.
Yeah, 22. And you're striving for that. But we really appreciate the long, because the coaches change every year at Del Mar.
Well, it's funny because when I first interviewed for the job and I took the job, Coach and I met. We met actually this summer and had lunch and talked and about things. And he was like, are you going to be there for a while?
Mm-hmm.
And my response was, I've got kids coming up through there. I love the school. Dunbar is a unbelievable place to
academically it's second to none.
I mean, teaching there is awesome. I mean, you can't ask for a better place. It's beautiful stadium. I love the horse farms all around us. I think it's one of the top.
You say beautiful stadium, Coach. I will say this: the press box is far removed. Again, you guys, that's my only complaint.
Yeah, it is up there. You need an elevator, but I will say, when we're kicking off and the sun is setting The horses are
Oh,
on the
it's
hill.
beautiful.
It's surrounded by pine trees. I mean, you feel just like you're in another. You don't feel like you're in any kind of rural. City setting. You think you're out in the middle of the country, and that's really been a special place. I always felt home at Dunbar. And regardless of it, we've done some great things there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been to 2 regional championships.
Right.
We've been to a semifinal. We've done things there that haven't been done since Coach Meehan, and we're going to be, we're going to have those peaks and valleys. It's just the way that the nature of high school football is, unless you can, go out and get kids, recruit them like colleges. You're going to have what you have. I mean, the gene pool of the area is what helps your team, and as long as people are patient for those ups and downs, you can. I think it's a testament to go through those times, and still be there. Because I think a lot of times in today's day and age, man, people get really impatient with building a football team or establishing a culture, or and I tell my kids this, all the time. If winning is the only barometer of success, then you're going to have a real hard life, because you're not going to feel like you're winning a lot. I mean, you're gonna, people die, divorces happen, you lose jobs, you get unemployed. I mean, things happen in your life. You have to respond to those events. And we've had some success, and we've had some times where we've really had to grow in character through difficult times, and our kids are a testament to that. We've got a great group of seniors, 21 guys. I think we started with 24 freshmen, so we've lost 3 and maybe gained even a couple. So that's a testament to the coaches and just everybody's attitude and effort there.
Yeah, I've always thought, I don't know the exact figures, but since I left, there's been 11 head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Most lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
One guy lasted 3 days.
Yeah.
So and that was because he just couldn't deal with it.
It is a rewarding place to be, but I would say one of the top hardest coaching jobs that there is in the state of Kentucky.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
You really got to have a passion for coaching, and it's not because of we got great players. I mean, we have really good kids. We have really good players. We don't have a lot, and that makes it that much more tough when you are, you've got these guys. Like if I lose, 3 of my seniors this year, man, that's devastating for our team, and so that really is something that. We for a long time we had, we have the MSTC program there. That's the only way you can get in, in terms of outside programs, and you got to be scoring the top 2% of the nation, to get in it, and so and just everything's changed over time, in terms of that sort of thing. But it's a rewarding place when because when you win. Man, it feels unbelievable, because you guys got it, and I really do think these guys this year are going to win some games.
Good. And Coach McPeak, you have a good season. I know you're excited about it, because every coach right now is excited because nobody's lost a game yet,
right.
And so everybody's excited.
Yep.
But you're overly excited about your ball club, and that's exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, we should, again, we went 8-5 last year, and and I mean this humbly, for most people that's a good year. For us, it's not. And we've created that expectation. We lost 4 games by 14 total points, with probably the youngest football team we've had since the very first year out of the gate. We only had 12 seniors last year. This year we have 28, so it's a much bigger class. And we played a lot of sophomores and juniors last year that, hopefully those experiences and going through, I mean, yes, we had a down year, but we're one play away from being in the Final Four again. Ryle beat us in overtime in the region finals, so it's a high expectation. But with our schedule, the margin of error is very small, and you have to play really good football. And one play here, one turnover here, one not blocking on a punt here, it's a difference of winning and losing. And it is what it is. When we're playing the people that we have to play, and But it does help you. I feel like you have to play some really good people if you want to advance in the playoffs. And he could speak more to this as well with me, but I think the RPI system is good, but it has created some scheduling issues for a lot of people. Because a lot of people are okay with maybe not scheduling as hard and hosting a region game when they haven't played anybody versus playing a really tough schedule, losing 4 or 5 games, and your RPI is not very good. So it really depends, but it just depends on a lot of things. Similar to coach, yes, we have numbers, but if we lose a couple of key guys, it makes us a different football team. If we lose it to Corey Fields on defense, it's committed to Marshall. That's a really, really good player. That changes us defensively because he can do a lot of things. So, yes, we have numbers, but we're still not as deep in certain spots. But we have high expectations. We do every year, and it is what it is.
Well, coaches, we certainly appreciate. Coach, go ahead.
I got one last thing.
Yes, sir.
I mentioned this early. This is a really special month coming up. This September, they're having the Lexington, Kentucky African American Hall of Fame presentation here. I love it. It's so exciting for me. But I'm special this year because Dougie's being inducted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dougie Allen's being inducted.
Yeah.
And Ben, my son Ben, who played with Doug, they're best friends, like brothers really. He is commander of Air Force Base in Germany. He's flying back.
Just went to Germany, right?
Yeah, they've been there a couple months. Yeah. So he's
awesome.
flying back so he could be with Dougie at the
cool.
presentation.
That's cool.
So I just think that's really special when they do that.
Yeah.
I know you'll have guys there. You may already have coaches there, maybe. Who knows? These coaches that played in Lexington, you'll see them. There's a little restaurant downtown called the Blue Skillet, and it's in quote the hood, but I don't think it's that. And on the walls they have pictures of all the Hall of Fame people that won. And Gary and I went in there and we knew everybody. We knew all these pictures. We knew probably 90% of them.
Yeah, at least.
Either coached, know them as coaches, broadcasted them, or coached them, or played against them, or whatever. So it's really a neat experience.
You
So
said that was our next meal. We had need to go to there.
I'm waiting.
Okay, yeah.
Tell me when you're free. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Well,
Yeah, and for us, not to interrupt, but I'm right there with you, and it's a great thing. And obviously, we're going to support anything we can with athletics and football throughout Central Kentucky. But for me personally, this is our 10th year ever of a program, so it's even more special for me to see, our first workout of 13 guys being part of the very first win ever in 2017. And hopefully, I'm part of 100+ program wins. We're at 95 right now. So for me, that's really cool to see the progression and be part of that as a coach, because not a lot of people can say that.
Well, I know Douglas is thought of very well around the state. Your preseason number 4 or 5 in the state, and Dunbar's up-and-coming program. Thanks to you, Coach West. We appreciate you being here, and we really enjoyed being with you on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nathan McPeak and Wes Johnson will be back with more on the PrepSpin Rafferty Show. Thanks to Whitaker Bank and eCampus.com. Thanks, guys. Welcome back to Rafferty's Restaurants. That's right, Rafferty's, where the special is you. You know that,
Yes,
Coach.
Sir. Yes, sir. The
What do you like?
open-faced prime mid-rib sandwich.
Oh,
baby.
that's your favorite. That's my favorite too, and it's good stuff. I want to thank Roberts Insurance. They're out of Richmond, Kentucky. They've been in business, Coach, over 60 years. They insure 3/4 of the state of Kentucky. Catastrophic insurance is what they sell to all the schools. Roberts Insurance, Joe, John, and Bob, they're great guys, and they're a sponsor here on PrepSpin. And we got with us two of the finer coaches, and Coach Hamburger's in with us too. He's from Henry Clay, and for Coach Hawkins, Chad Pennington, and from Sayre, state champion a couple years ago. Coach, I know you're a couple years removed from that, but you still got a good ball club out there.
We're excited. It's been one of those off seasons where you're just trying to learn your team, and we're learning that we've got a bunch of kids who bring a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, enthusiasm.
Yep.
So it makes it more fun to coach when your kids want to be there, right? And so it's one of those things where we're just learning them, seeing what they can do. A little bit smaller numbers this year, so we're going to have to really develop some young talent because they got to be ready to play on Friday night. Last 2 years we were 49 and 45 in the roster, and this year we're essentially 35, so it's a little bit different.
How many Penningtons are on that roster?
One last Pennington.
Oh, come on.
One last
One
Pennington.
more.
Gage, right?
Gage, yep. He's our quarterback, free safety, committed to Butler last week.
Nice.
So really excited about that. So he and his middle brother, who's at Dayton, they're going to be rivals now.
Oh, no.
In the Pioneer Football League. So
Look
it'll be
out, look
interesting.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to be a Pennington flying out of Pennington.
I coached all three of my sons, and I know you feel the same way. There's pressure, but there's so much fun in doing it.
It really is. There's a ton of fun in doing it. And, my dad and I decided not to do it. And then my three sons and I decided to do it. And so it's been a lot of fun to where, you get to use the game of football to develop young men and be with their buddies and just really, try to give them the best experience you possibly can, share as much knowledge as you can, really on and off the field, life lessons, and it's been a lot of fun.
Coach Berg.
Yes, sir.
You're new to around here right now. Tell the fans here a little bit about yourself. You were giving me a little synopsis of your coaching experience.
Yeah, my name's Matthew Ambergy. I am from Frankfort, Kentucky, but I went to high school at Shelby County High School. Go Rockets! I always give those guys a shout out.
Yeah.
No, coach college football for the past 14, 15 years. Been around the state, Kentucky State University, Kentucky Wesleyan College, Carroll University in Waukesha, and then of course EKU was my last stop. Love the game of football. Like Coach Pennington said, we use the game of football to raise young men, not just win games. Winning's fun, but developing men is funner.
What are you coaching?
I am the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, whatever coach needs me to do at Henry Clay. Servant leadership.
What have you seen in the scrimmage games that you can carry on to the season?
All right, the first one, not so much. I'm not going to lie to you. We had a bunch of boneheaded plays, which is expected in a first scrimmage. But you learn a lot about your team in that second one. And we grew up. We had some times where we could have fallen apart due to whatever adversity, bad call. You didn't get the result you wanted on the rep or whatever the case may be. But we went to the next play mentality, and we wound up pulling that one out. And it meant a lot more than, say, last year's second scrimmage where we were up 21-0 and got to be front runners the whole time. This scrimmage, we had to show a little grit and come back and perform and win. And we got to do that, and that's exciting.
That's where you find out a lot about your team also.
Yes,
in
sir.
that situation when you're behind. Coach Pennington, I covered your ball club the year you won state. I did that state championship game. I tell you, you had a receiver on that team named Brock Kaufman. My goodness, I think state championship game, he had 3 touchdown catches.
Right.
You wish you had a couple more like him, don't you, Coach? But you got some talent out there.
Well, it's special when your best players are also your hardest workers and your best leaders. And that's what Brock was, that's what Luke was, that's what Charlie Slayball was.
Yep.
And so our 3 best players were our hardest workers, our best leaders, and they ran the show. It was a player-led team. And so now, with Gage's senior class, they were sophomores at the time, they were able to see that servant leadership and see that type of leadership and work ethic and those core values. So it'd be interesting to see what they put together. But that was a special year. It really was. And one of those years you you know you've got a chance to catch lightning in a bottle, and so
Yeah.
you better do it. And we were able to do it.
Yeah, that's good.
Your facility out there off of Athens Boonesboro Road there, I don't know if you've ever been out and seen the facility. It's really nice. It's a really good job. Was there any logistical problems, though, having a school one place and a field in another place?
It certainly can be, but the school's done a good job of providing a bus for middle school students and high school students who don't drive. And then, typically there'll be some, teammates that'll ride with each other, and then once they start driving, they just drive out there. And so it's really a school of two campuses. When we first got there in 2018, there was no press box, no lights, no bleachers, no lockers, no anything.
Wow.
And so through the game of football and through our football program, we've been able to be that rising tide that lifts all the ships, and be able to, if we do something from an improvement football-wise, we're going to make sure that our other sports have that same improvement. And so it's been one of those things where I think sometimes when you take on a project like that, if you try to do it all at once, it fails. So we just each year try to improve a little bit more. Now we've got a small indoor there where we could train. Got a little turf area we can work in, get out of the weather if we need to. And so it's been really good just to kind of build it slowly but surely.
What about Henry Clay, Coach Berg? You guys, you've had some rough seasons. There's always been a lot of talent, a lot of good players at Henry Clay.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a problem.
No.
Why? How do you think you're going to turn it around this year, maybe?
Culture. It always starts with culture. It don't matter how good you are. If there's no pride built into what you're doing, no intent in what you're doing, you're just another talented guy in the barbershop, brother. That's how that goes. There is no secret sauce to it. It takes what it takes. That's just the mindset we're building out there. We know it's going to take a while. We'd like to catch, like Coach said, lightning in a bottle. Is that what we're all looking for, really? But if you could establish a culture year in and year out and understand that this is the way we do it, and then the players are the one who leads that instead of the coaches, then I think we're going to get there sooner than later, which I believe we're doing now, because the players are kind of leading. A lot of coaches don't have to say too much anymore.
Yeah.
The players are starting to get on and push these guys, and that's when I think we know we're getting it. Are we going to have, success is not linear. We're going to have days where we fall back. We just got to pick ourselves up and remember the trajectory we'd like to stay on.
Have you had Chase Minifield talk to the team yet this year or in the past?
No, I have not seen him the past 2 years I've been there, but I'm not saying he hasn't. Coach Hawk's there during the day. I'm just now starting to student teach there, so I'm now in the building. So those things could happen, sooner than later, but I don't have an answer for that part. But I would love to have him come by for sure. He was at EKU a couple years ago when I was there talking to us. So
that's a good crew. Now, what's your offensive line look like this year?
We got some seniors, we got some sophomores. We had a couple guys take a turn where they decided they don't want to play football anymore. Which kind of left us with a lot of questions, and some of those questions are getting answered slowly as we go through these scrimmages and we go through these practices. Like center, we got to develop some depth at center, and we found a couple guys that can snap it and step right and step left and hopefully block back on a 3, which would be crazy, but if they can kind of do that, then they can block back on a 1 fairly well. So that's where we're kind of working with in our centers.
Yeah, you got some size too.
Yes, Henry Clay has never had a problem having size.
Yeah, you got some big boys.
This is a long football team we have. We got a couple guys that are 6'5", 6'6" plus on there. Now they're babies. We got to train them and teach them up, but they look good in the uniform.
I bet.
They get off the bus well, don't they?
Absolutely.
But Coach Pennington, you're one of our favorites. Not just because you play for the Jets, but I like the fact that your father coached football.
Yes.
And you got that same mentality that you took to Sayre. That's really great, isn't it, Coach? We like that.
Yeah, we like it. We follow Sayre, even though we've just done a couple of games out there. It's a great atmosphere for us to go out there and film, and we'd love to do it more often. To tell you the truth, it's fun.
Well, and I think what we've tried to do is, and what football can do that I think is unique to any other sport, is provide events for community spirit and the community come together, supporting each other. So like with our scrimmage last Friday, we did meet the Spartans where all the fall sports teams were introduced, middle school and high school, before the game and at halftime. And so, and we had a cookout, and just really providing those events that people can come together. Football just does that. And of course it helps to play on Friday night where most people don't have anything to do on Saturday morning either.
Right.
And so that helps.
Go to a game.
That's one thing we've really tried to do is as Coach talked about, is not only our football culture, but really use the game of football to increase and improve our school culture, which has been really good.
Just like I'm going to ask Berg, who are some of your tough opponents this year, Coach?
We open up with defending state champs, KCD, this week on Friday.
That's a tough one.
Matt Jones does a great job. He runs the Harding University triple option offense, who I believe, talking with him last week, Harding rushed for 7,000 yards last year in college. I'm like, Coach, that's impossible.
That is a fact.
They did it. And so they do a really good job with what they do. They've
That's
added
about
speed.
350 yards a game.
Yeah, 100%. So they've added speed to what they do. That's why they're able to kind of get over the hump last year, because now they got speed on the edge with their rocket toss and their options and things like that. And then we've got Williamsburg, who's doing a really good job with Jerry Herron. We've got to go to places like Newport. Eminence has vastly improved.
And Gary McPeak is there now,
Yes,
so
yeah.
you'll face another McPeak.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then we finished up with Middlesboro, who was undefeated regular season single A team last year and made it to the quarterfinals. So our schedule has certainly increased, and we're excited about it. It makes it fun.
And Berg, how about you and Henry Clay?
Just like similar to Coach, we start off with Collins, historic traditional program. Their head coach was my offensive coordinator my
that's
senior year
in your
high
neck of the
school.
woods.
Jerry Lucas, that's the man. I love him. But we play Henderson County at home. We don't have to travel a couple light years away to go play a high school football game there. We get a good matchup week 2 against Madison Southern. Now we get into district play. Now GRC, that'll be a tough game for us. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, they got the resources to have a good team. Everything else, like I said, Henry Clay, we're a work in progress. Every game is a Super Bowl to us. So we need to be ready for everybody's best shot, because they're going to try to roll us over.
Who are some of your personnel that you can tell us about this year?
Oh wow, we're not short on skill, guys. I mean, we have Kai Paris, he's going to be big for us. Henry Morgan's going to be big for us. So Marion Smith is going to be big for us. We got a transfer from Danville named Marquise. He is going to be a phenomenal talent for us. The list goes on. Cooper Dickerson is going to be our quarterback. I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
He's going to have his growing pains, because he's going to take the full. His only start last year was against Frederick Douglass in the playoffs, and he played fairly well. So
I'm going to go back a little bit, Coach. I'm going to go back to about 2001 or 2. That's when I started doing high school football in Central Kentucky. David Buchanan.
Yes, sir.
Was a great quarterback. Not only was a great quarterback, he was a 4.0 student, straight A student. He did everything in the classroom, Coach. I remember that young man. He was a great quarterback. You remember him, Coach?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And you need more guys like that, don't you?
I love guys I love smart football players, because, Coach, you played at the highest level. Coach going to call a play. It may not be it's the play call. You got to make us right.
That's right.
You got to make us right. So execution is the name of the game for what we talk about at Henry Clay football. Everybody's running the same thing, whether it's outside zone to us, rocket toss like you're going to see. You just got to execute the play. But as far as our defense, we got guys that can run the ball. We're kind of a multiple. We can get in and out of things, and that's a luxury. We have about 89 guys, so we look forward to doing a lot of things with them.
Chad, you mentioned 30-some players on the team. You got Frederick Douglass, and they have 100,000. I don't know how many players on the team, but those kids come in and they can be molded into the program. You have to make every year, don't you have to? I know you do, but have to find ways that they can fit, and sometimes you have to make adjustments as a coach.
Yes, absolutely, and we're doing that now. And you're exactly right. When you're dealing with a smaller roster, you got to be more creative. You got more kids who are playing both ways.
In a bag later.
And so, more kids are playing both ways. And so what we really focus on is what we call the 0.5. The kid that may not be starting on one side of the ball, but can really come in and give you some solid minutes, to where when you're allowing that starter to take a break, your production's not falling down. So the development of those younger players is really, really important. And so we spend a lot of time with our practice schedule making sure that there's not anybody standing around. You got to be doing something, whether it be running, helping us run scout team, or over here working on an individual drill. Everybody's got to be developing, and we put a lot of emphasis on that scout team. That's how we can see if a young player is starting to develop to help us on Friday night via special teams or being that .5 player. And it changes every year. The makeup of your team and how your team's going to play both offensively and defensively based upon who you have changes.
I love that.
Yeah, you do a lot of this in the off season. All right, I might have to move this guy over here and move this guy over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's tough.
Berg, King wanted me to ask you, King of Stream, William Moorfield, how's it been with all the renovations and going on there at Henry Clay, all the building and everything?
The future's bright. Like all that stuff they got going on there, they're moving at warp speed. I can't remember if they said it's going to be open in 27 or 28, but I tell you what, it's going to be the shiny new toy, which will be an advantage for us. But we got to start, doing something now to make sure they can be used as an advantage.
Gotcha. Build momentum up for that new
yes,
facility.
sir. But it's going to be very, very nice. I cannot lie. It's going to be state of the art.
Just like Coach said about Sarah, all the facilities they build, it's really nice
yeah.
now.
We'll have a 40-yard indoor facility when it's done, but it'll be in the school. But it'll be just like anything. Whatever season's in, they'll take priority over that field. Everybody will be able to use it.
Say hello to Daniel Brown for me, will you?
Yeah, I sure
He's
will.
a good buddy of mine.
I got you.
So you can leave your school, make a left turn, and go eat down at the river.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I like about it. Go down there and get some ribs or something down there.
I just want to share, we were talking out there because you were talking about I should see their facilities, and I looked at him and I was just like, heck, I thought that was LCA out there. And he was like, no, that's us. And I was thinking the whole time, like, why would they put a field out there and over there by the mall? So it was just funny, but you said that too.
We got that cleared up for him.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
It just made me laugh when you
Yeah.
said, you ought to see
That
it. I
is
was like,
funny.
God dang.
LCA's got some nice facilities. They open up in the ecampus.com bowl, and that's this Friday. Coach said they played the second game against North Hardin.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they're going to be interesting. Both of your teams are going to be really interesting to watch too. Coach Berg, you are a offensive coordinator.
Correct.
And you do what? What position are you doing on the
I
field?
coach the quarterbacks mainly, but it's, as an offensive coordinator, you got to kind of just get that panoramic view and try to catch everybody and adjust accordingly.
Yeah. And your coaching staff, Coach, mention a few of those guys.
Yeah, you know what? We've been able to put together a great staff. It starts with our assistant head coach, Brian Washington, who's a longtime head coach at Paris.
Yeah.
He and I have been working together for 6 years.
Say hello to Brian.
Love
for me.
working with Coach Wash. He's our defensive coordinator, coaches our running backs and inside backers. Josh Smith is back with us last 2 years and does a great job on the O-line, D-line. He's our associate head coach too, and so really does a great job. Aaron Maggard, someone who played for Coach Washington and then was a standout at Georgetown College. He has done a phenomenal job with our wide receivers and DBs. Been able to bring 2 new guys along this year. Brett Bearline, who's a former head coach at Bourbon County, and Garrett. So I love having former head coaches around me.
Yeah.
They can kind of help me with my blind spots, make sure they're filling in the gaps because they've been there, they've done that before.
Yeah.
And then finally we were able to hire Jason Dunn. And Jason's working with our O-line, D-line. And
Former EKU grad.
Former EKU grad. Yeah, I actually played against Jason when he was at the Chiefs in the NFL. And what a great individual, number one. Just a great man. And I think, I was able to talk to him at the Pro Football Hall of Fame event in June. And we were just kind of talking some ball, and I could kind of see that little gleam in his eye. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask Coach Dunn if he wants to coach with us. So we kind of talked through it a little bit, worked it out in his schedule, and he's been phenomenal.
I'm going to bring up a player that's from your past, but he's very dear to you because you really developed him. Jake Bernard. Jack, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I said Jake.
Jack,
I don't know why. I knew it was Jack.
Jack.
I ran into his father, Bill.
Yes.
He is a starting tackle.
Yes.
At
Kenyon
College,
yes.
And really doing well. He said to tell you hello.
Well, he's doing fantastic. Believe it or not, we'll have 12 college football players from our program playing this Saturday. As far as college football is concerned in the season, which that's
awesome, dude.
It's a lot of fun. And what we've been able to do is really level set with our kids, not to chase the logo, but chase the experience and find places that fit them. So like when John Luke Minner committed to Brown, I'm like, man, that is a fantastic place for you. You'll be developed. You won't have to worry about the portal as much. You'll get an Ivy League degree, which is phenomenal. And hey, if you develop that 5th year, you can go enter the portal and get NIL and reap the benefits of that. So we've got them from P4 all the way to D3 and everybody in between. So
I'm going to make an excuse for the only reason I said Jake is his brother, who's a doctor, is named Jake Bernard. I used to play tennis with both of them out at Spindletop.
Yeah.
So that's the confusion, Coach. So every once in a while, it all scrambles.
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
we'll forgive you.
Gary.
We'll forgive you.
Yeah.
Bill will forgive you. You'll be all right.
Yeah, Bill's a great guy. He's a
Yes.
veterinarian. He's a vet.
Yes.
But anyway, let's get back to Coach Berg. Henry Clay, you know, he had some rebuilding to do. There's no doubt about it. You can't slice it any other way. What has Coach Hawkins done to, you mentioned culture, what has he done to rebuild that program?
Well, he protects us assistant coaches from all the stuff that he's got to deal with in the school, with the administrative stuff, which isn't a bad thing. He shields us from that. That's a positive for me. He deals with the parents, and the parents, we love you guys, but that part of a head coach, as you know, man, that's a different kind of hat. And Coach Hawk wears that hat for us and gives us the ability to coach. So I'll say his ability to let us, his coaches, coach and him take all that stuff off of our plate is probably my favorite thing about what he's doing at the program. We're still building that culture. We're taking over a place that won 6-7 games in like 8 years. So it's no disrespect to the prior people. That's non-existent. So we're still planting those seeds and cultivating those areas and trying. You know, it's like farming. If we don't weed one area, it's going to overtake it. So we just got to stay after it.
Those weeds are terrible.
Yeah. I started coaching in Lexington in 1971. And one thing always Henry Clay, they will hit you. I mean, they will absolutely hit you in the face. And I always remember that. Even if the skill level was down, you better watch out because you're going to get hit.
I got a fun fact for you guys to share with Coach out there. See where you are. Who is the last Lexington school to win the Kentucky KHSAA 4A/6A at the highest level in the state of Kentucky? Which Lexington school was the last one to do that? And it's not Frederick Douglass because they were 5A.
6A and 4A.
It'd be 4A. But the
Before they moved
it to 6A, the highest level in Kentucky.
Trinity?
School from Lexington.
From Lexington.
Henry Clay.
What year?
I remember.
1981.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 80, 81, 80.
That's the last Lexington school to win it at the highest level. So there's tradition there.
Yeah.
There's something there that we can hang our hat on. Granted, 44 years ago.
Well, I went to a school called Boone County, up in northern Kentucky.
Sean
Florence.
Alexander's.
Right, but that coach knows it very well.
Oh, jeez.
And we had a good program back in the 80s and 90s. But since 2000 rolled around, Boone County has really gone downhill. I think they only won 2 games a couple years ago. They only won 3 games last year. They've gone through coach after coach. And Owen Houck used to be the successful coach there. Coach Houck coached a lot. He coached Sean and a lot of great teams. We played Jeff Brom when he was a senior at Trinity in the snow at Boone County in the playoffs semifinal game. That was one of the best high school games I've ever broadcast. It went into double overtime, and Jeff Brown was like Fran Tarkin and running around. We couldn't tackle him. I said, this guy looks like Fran Tarkin, and we couldn't tackle him. But Trinity just always seems to be in the mix, don't they? And that's what we ask Jayhawk from Tates Creek and Lawson from Lafayette. What will you do, set a goal to beat these guys, and not just play with them, but to beat the Trinities and the X's and the Ballards and the big teams of the world?
Well, for us, if we're going to say we go out there and play them tonight, we're going to have to chew the clock down. We're going to have to bring the game to a crawl. We got to be strategic in that way because they have a really good quarterback. Zane's pretty daggone good.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The only way to keep him off the field, kind of like the old Peyton Manning thing.
Right.
You got to keep him off the field. So we bring the game to a crawl. As far as they have culture, and I'm just going to keep hammering back that the schools you name, they have culture. So there's going to be times where the play call don't matter. The culture you live in matters. Like, I'll just throw out Justin Haddix and that team in Boyle County. If you look at that roster, minus those gargantuans they got at tight end.
Yeah.
He's got about 4 or 5 that
Seneca
are huge.
Driver, 6'7".
But you go from there, those kids drive that culture. And they will hit you in the mouth whether they're 5'5" or 6'5".
You're right,
And
you're
that's
right.
what we're trying to develop at Henry Clay.
That's a very good
chasing
point.
after the same thing you guys got going on. When you started out, you took your lumps. I know that.
100.
And now you're giving the lumps. So that's what we're trying to do. So that to answer your question, it's going
That's
to come to a
that's
culture
very-
thing for us.
That's a very good point.
The other question I wanted to ask, and we talked about this, Gary and I feel the same way. I want to ask you about your kicking games. Gary says it's not a kicking game, it's specialties. It's a specialty.
Special teams.
I know you're going to have to do things differently than you do there. We'll start with you, Chad. What about your kicking game, your specialties, and so on?
Well, it's an important phase. We're actually talking about that today, and we worked on 2 phases of it today. And so we want to make sure that every day we're working on some type of phase. First of all, trying to make sure we're putting the best 11 out there, and then also finding, because we know guys are going to need breaks, finding guys that can have those substitutions and that production not fall away. And so we've talked about, okay, how do we create field position through the kicking game? How do we create turnovers? How can we create great returns? That's a huge thing, especially when you're going against teams like Kentucky Country Day, who hold the ball for a long time and things like that. So we're constantly talking about that. The other thing I love about special teams is that in football, on any given Friday night, there's more than 111 opportunities for your son to help us win. There's no other sport that can say that. And so really putting an emphasis on all of the special teams, all the different personnels offensively and defensively, it allows kids a chance to plug in. Where if they don't have a great jump shot, handles, or play defense, they're not playing basketball. They can't hit a curveball or throw 90 miles an hour, they're not playing baseball. Yeah. You work hard with us and you got a little grit to you, we're going to find a place for you.
Right.
And so that's what I love about our game, and special teams is a big part of that.
Good.
I'm right there with him. He took the number, the analytics right out of my mouth. Who don't want 111 extra reps a season to put on tape? Who
Yeah.
don't want that?
Yeah.
Because there's only one ball, there's one quarterback, one running, but sometimes 2, 4 wide receivers. So yeah, it's to play football. I don't think I've ever seen anybody say, "I'm coach, I want to sign up for wide receiver." Well, wide receiver is a position in football, and if you're the 5th wide receiver, why don't you go look at being a gunner on punt or run down on kickoff? But very same thing, emphasis. If it's an offensive day, we're going to work on punt and kickoff return in our hands team. If it's defensive day, we're going to work punt and punt return.
There are some guys that make
got to do it.
NFL football teams by being special
Yes.
snapper, long snapper,
Most
something
underrated
like that.
position in sports.
Yeah, and Coach, we want to wrap it up with these 2 coaches. We got one more coach out there to talk to.
All right. We were talking about offensive line, so very important. I think Coach Johnson, one time we had lunch, and he said, you got 5 guys with 10 eyes, 1 goal. And I think that was one of the neatest things I've heard, because that's the truth. I mean, these guys, they have to know each other.
Yeah.
I mean, good offensive linemen, they know what the other guy's going to do.
Yeah.
Which sometimes with running backs, there's a hole, I got to run there. Right?
They're the most interesting position in all of sports because they're going to do the same thing no matter who's back there. Their job doesn't change. Where if you put like an electrifying quarterback back there, say Mike Vick back there, your offensive line really don't matter no more, right? Because he's going to make a play for you.
Yeah.
But if you have a really good offensive line and they're all moving on one accord, you could put us back there and we can run the ball, buddy.
Right.
We're going to get 5 yards a carry.
I
So
don't know about us, but you guys will be all right. Well, we appreciate you joining us, and great talk, and good luck this season at Sayre and at Henry Clay, Coach Berg, and appreciate you guys coming in. Really do.
Thank you.
If we ever get a chance to broadcast any of these teams, we would love it.
Yeah, we like to do Henry Clay, and we like to do Sayre again this year too. King will be getting with you, Coach. Okay.
yeah, no problem. This was
Okay.
awesome. I appreciate your time.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
awesome, man.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
We'll be back on PrepSpin. We want to thank Roberts Insurance. We want to thank Whitaker Bank, eCampus.com, and Rafferty's Restaurants here at Hamburg. Rafferty's, man, it's so good, isn't it, Coach?
It's great.
We'll be back after this on PrepSpin.
The ribeye sandwich too.
It's good, isn't it?
With that damn
Welcome back into Rafferty's Restaurants. Rafferty's is just—it's the bomb, isn't it, Coach?
It's unbelievable. Their menu is so eclectic, Gary. They have everything, just about every kind of food you want.
Oh man, it's so good. I love everything here, and I come here. Matter of fact, I got a luncheon here tomorrow, so I'll be here again tonight and tomorrow, Coach. We got with us the defenders of Bryan Station High School. Tell us about them.
Coach Markham from Bryan Station High School.
Offensive coordinator.
Yes, and Eric Higgins, former player at Dunbar High School, and a good friend of my family and of me, and my wife loves this guy.
Well, if Lynn loves him, there's got to be a reason. It's got to be a good guy.
That's it.
And we got let's start with Coach Markham, the offensive coordinator. Well, what a tough job that must be at Bryan Station with all those athletes.
It can be difficult at times, finding ways to get everybody the ball and getting it in their hands and making plays. It can be quite difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and what's your history?
So I played at Bell County High School from 2000 to 2004 under Coach Hilton, Dudley Hilton, one of the greats. And then I went off to EKU. I was on the team for a year until I got injured and decided to leave it. And then I started my coaching career at Jackson County High School. Many people may not know where that's at, but it's southeastern of Madison County. Started there. Helped a friend who coached at Bell County, played at Bell County, so he was kind of trying to get the program going. They'd only been 3 years in existence at that point, and so I went down and helped him right out of graduation at EKU. Then I moved on to East Jessamine High School, where I was a defensive coordinator there for 4 of my 5 years I was there. After that, Richmond was home for me, it became home for me, and so we decided to move back, and I've coached for 1 year at Madison Central in 2018 when we won the regional championship there. And then I left school in January from there and took the head coaching job at Estill County High School. And so I went there. My former principal in high school at Bell County was actually the superintendent there. So it just kind of worked out in that
it
favor.
helps that you kept your nose clean because he rehired you.
That's right. That's right. So so I went there. I was the head coach there 5 years. Then I got let go, as it happens in this sport.
Yeah.
And in 2024. Coach Hawkins was the head coach at Bryan Station at the time, and he had posted for a defensive line position, and I was like, I'm ready for another challenge. Let's go. So took that job, and then after he left and JT took over, I was promoted to offensive coordinator for the past 2 years.
That's really neat. Playing for Dudley Hilton, I'll tell you, we scrimmaged them one time, and he showed up with a straw hat that had a piece missing in the front. And I said, Dudley, what happened? He goes, a bear did it. A bear just and I almost believed it because of where where Bell County is. Yeah. I'm sure there's something. Eric.
Yes, sir.
This your first year with Bryan Station?
Second
year.
Yeah,
what made you make that decision?
I just wanted to get back into football. My son's coming up, playing now, and he's getting ready to be in high school too. So I just kind of wanted to get back familiar with it, and it really never left me because it's a part of my DNA. When I was younger, it kept me out of a lot of trouble. I was pretty good at it at certain points when I was playing. So I just wanted to get back into the game, and JT asked me to come over. I came over a couple of days just to kind of see how it was, and I immediately loved to be there. Like to be around the guys and stuff. And when he gave me the running backs, I really love that position. It's my favorite position. I've been studying it for years, been watching it for years, and I've also played at New Mexico State University and junior college out in California. So had some good playing times and just wanted to get back in the game and get back around it again.
And tell us about
Yeah.
some of your running backs at Station that helped Coach Markham there call the plays.
Yeah, I got some good running backs. Right now, one of our starting running backs, Jeremiah Turner. You'll see him on Friday night. He's electric, very quick, kind of fast, a smaller back. But he runs between the tackles and can get outside as well. And also we have some other backs. Jeremiah George, you'll watch him run downhill. He's a He's a big kid and he runs downhill. And we have Raymond too as well, so you'll see him play. So we got a three-headed monster back there, and I think those kids are ready to go this year. They've trained hard, and I think they're ready to play.
Can they catch the ball?
They can catch the ball.
Well,
they
good,
can catch the ball.
good.
Jeremiah, he's getting better at it.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, we got two Jeremiahs,
Yeah.
first of all. So Jeremiah Turner and Jeremiah George. But Jeremiah George is getting better at it. Jeremiah Turner can catch the ball pretty good, and Raymond can catch the ball really well. So I think they can catch it and make big plays for us out there.
And Coach Markham, what do you specialize when you're coaching?
So I've got the quarterbacks. I mean, it's not my trade. It's not what I grew up playing or anything. But as you know, being in the game for years, you learn and pick up on everything. You learn as much as you can and all that. So I've got the quarterbacks because as offensive coordinator, you want to have your hands all in it and making sure they're doing everything necessary to make your offense run and go the way that you want it to.
Yeah, that's. I want to just interrupt real quick. My son Ben is in the Air Force, and he is commander of an Air Force base in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And he called the other day. He's coming back.
Yep.
For the inauguration, Dougie's inauguration in the African American Hall of Fame. And he wants to come to the game where you and Snoop are against each other.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Snoop is a coach, is coaching for Tate's Creek, correct?
Tate's Creek High School, yeah. And his son is also over there playing over there. Greg,
that'll be fun.
So that's going to be a good game for us. It's a little bit down the schedule, so we haven't focused on it yet, but we're having fun with it. Snoop's talking a little bit, so
of course he is.
We'll see when we get to that point, but I think we'll be ready for that game as well. But
let's talk about your opener.
Yep.
This Friday in the eCampus.com Bowl at LCA, you play at 5:30 against South Warren. That's a tough opponent.
Yeah, I mean that's been kind of the theme for the past couple of years that I've been at Station is there's no backing down on schedule.
Right.
Like we're going to play some of the best teams in the state, and you know we like it that way. I mean we want to get out there and get after it with the big boys because we're the big boys too. So South Warren is coming off a really good year last year. I mean we played them last year as well. I think we put up the most points on them that was scored all year.
Yeah.
I mean
28, I believe.
Yeah, defensively they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
We've kind of got that little bit of a pride in what we did last year against them, and so coming in this year, we're better offensively than we were last year. Me coming as an offensive coordinator last year, a lot of new things, a lot of kids that hadn't played a whole lot at that point, any varsity time. So last year was kind of difficult. First game coming out and playing a monster like that, it was tough. But this year we're in a way better position than we were at this point last year, and I feel very good about the game this week.
It always helps as an offensive coordinator to have a player like Haskins.
Oh, absolutely.
JT's son is just a phenomenal player. He's already committed to play D1 football. And what's it like coaching him?
He is just such a good kid, just period. Like, he's just a good kid. He commands the field. He commands attention. He's a coach on the field. I mean, when your dad's been a coach your whole life, you just learn to do that as well, and he does that. He does it with humility too. He don't try to stick out amongst everybody else. Like he's with his guys, and he just connects with them in that way. He doesn't make himself look better just because he's already committed to go play at Louisville. Like he's humble about it, and he don't care to let people know that.
Some of the other players that you might want to talk about that's be playing for Station this year.
Sure. Our offensive line is one of our key contributors coming back from last year. We lost one kid off of our offensive line from last year, and he was a converted defensive lineman, so he wasn't super skilled at being an offensive lineman. So we got everybody back and moved one other kid in, and 4 seniors on the offensive line. If we're going to make it, it's going to be this year. I mean, it's a really good group. Jeremiah Moore is our center. He's very good. He's a big kid, 6'2", 6'3". He's pushing about 315, 320. He's got great feet, perfections on snaps. I mean, he's always asking the right questions. Coach, what if this happens? What if this happens? How can we adjust to do this? Like, he asks those upper level type questions. He don't ask, do we run this right? No, he says, Coach, but what if this happens? How do we adjust? Like, he's wanting to know that already so he can be prepared.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's not had a D1 offer yet. and he should.
But he will.
But he will. I think if he shows good film this year, I think there's a really good chance of that happening.
I don't have to tell Coach, but I had a nephew about 15, 16 years ago. Played at Bryan Station. He was a tackle, offensive tackle, 6'4", 310. He was also the punter on the team. He punted 50 yards a punt.
Jeez.
Caleb Ball. I don't know if you guys ask somebody out there that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
They probably remember Caleb.
Yeah, I'd punt the ball.
Yeah.
He'd put that ball in outer space. Eric,
Yes, sir.
coaching offensive backs, you were a very good offensive back. You were very capable of doing a lot of things for me, and I really appreciate that. I want you to know that. It was a very difficult place to coach. Sometime we'll sit down over a beer and I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
But in the offensive scheme that you're running at Bryan Station, what do your backs mostly have to do?
I think right now they do well playing down in the box right now, running zone, some zone stuff. I don't want to give away too much that they do, but I think they right now just catching the ball out of the backfield is some of the things they can do. I mean, we're really versatile because I think all three backs are a little bit different. I think when you get with our Jeremiah Turner, you're going to get speed. You're going to get the athleticism, the in and out moves. He's going to be able to make people miss, and then you're going to see the other two backs come downhill at you. Jeremiah George is right now, he's almost 200 pounds, so you're going to see him coming down. He's got some speed on him. He's got a couple of cuts that he's developed over the offseason, so he's going to come downfield at you, and he's going to run hard. So
That's really cool. I got to say, Gary, I'm very proud of you coaching. There's something about my dad was a coach. My brother's coached high school. It's just something special. Aaron Hall, very first year at Dunbar, he's coaching in Scott County. You're at Bryan Station. Big Josh is where in Texas, at Houston somewhere. Yeah, Houston, Texas, coaching. And then you got Snoop over there, Overstreet, over at Tate's Creek. That stuff like that just makes me feel good. I appreciate that.
It's a coaching tree, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get tentacles off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Coach was a great coach, and he coached at LCA when they won the state title.
Yeah.
So he's coached
that was good.
some good teams. Coach Markham,
Yes, sir.
what do you think has been the most improvement for Bryan Station from last year to this year? Tell us about that.
Sure. Definitely our offensive line play. It has really picked up this year. Like I said, coming into a new system, my terminology, the things I wanted to call things last year, it was a slow pickup for them.
Yeah.
I mean, but we get mid-season, we start really getting with it, and we had a really good second half of the year, and I feel like that has only produced good things this year. Going into spring ball and then into summer, like the teaching part of it has become less and more of, working the technique of everything. It has become a bigger issue, and it's a good thing that that's becoming a bigger issue. Like, they know how to run the stuff. Now we just got to fine thread the techniques and doing everything right. And so the offensive line, I feel like, has been one of the biggest pickups this year. I just think all around it's just been great, but the offensive line definitely has stuck out to me.
Leadership, biggest thing I think there is in high school football. You have coaches that can be leaders, but you also need players that are leaders. Both of you comment a little bit about what you've seen on your team with leadership.
So, funny, that's a good question, because this past offseason I did a little leadership academy with some of our kids. I let the coaches pick 2 or 3 kids from each class who they think is a leader and someone, the ones that can kind of help us going into the season and teaching them how to be a leader. You can't just look at a kid and say, lead, lead, lead. Some kids can. Some kids are just natural leaders. They pick it up, like Jordan Haskins. He's a great leader. His dad's a great leader, so it just naturally comes for him. But you can't just have one guy.
No.
You can have one guy that everybody looks up to, and that's fine. But you got to have a guy in each class. You need to have a guy in each position group who, when things are not going well, it's not going right, hey, that guy's got to learn to get the guys and pick them up. And that doesn't mean yelling and screaming at them and cussing at them. That means finding ways to get them to be that way, to be a servant leader, to be a humbled leader, to be a vocal leader, to be all those things that leadership means. And so we got to go through some stuff that I developed and kind of went through with the kids, and I really feel like that's helped. Like Jeremiah Moore on our offensive line, now, he is the leader of the offensive line. I played center in high school and college, so I know what that means. Like, you have to command the offensive line. And then some of our receivers, our younger receivers that we chose to be in there, they're being a leader in that group. They're the ones out there making plays. And I told them, I said, sometimes you don't have to be the vocal leader. Sometimes being the guy that shows up and making the plays, that's leadership in itself, because it means you're doing all the things right the coaches ask you to do, and that's leadership in itself, and it shows.
Eric, in their running back room, I guess you can include quarterbacks and everything else.
Yeah.
Do you see leadership developing there?
I do. I think we got, first of all, we have all three backs are seniors, so they've kind of been in the program for a while. I like Jeremiah George right now with his play. He doesn't really talk very much, but he's gotten so much better that I think he's just leading with his by example through his play. And then you have Jeremiah Turner and Ray, or we call him Ray. That's what we call him. But he's playing both sides of the ball right now, so he's doing real well with that. And I think he's also leading by play and talking a little bit more. And then you have Jeremiah Turner. I think he's more vocal than those other two guys, but he comes in the game and he sets the pace for us. And I mean, that's leadership in itself, just getting out there on the field and just playing hard, practicing hard. His practice habits are probably some of the best habits we have on the team right now, where when he comes through the hole, just in practice, where we're just running a simple play, you'll see him score. He'll go down and run his 40, 50 yards to get that touchdown, just to simulate that in his mind that, hey, this is what we're going to be doing on Friday night.
JT talked about a running back. Is that who he's talking about, Jeremiah?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Jeremiah. We have two Jeremiah, so it's a little confusing, but one's Jeremiah George, which is the bigger kid. He's almost 200 pounds. And then we have Jeremiah Turner, which is a smaller back, which is a more shifty back.
JT and JG.
Yep. Yeah.
So we call him JT as well, and then that's kind of hard because JT is JT, and so
we have three Jeremiahs.
Yeah,
Jeremiah Moore, Jeremiah George, and Jeremiah Turner. So.
Now listen, I know you guys are offensive guys, but defense wins championships.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Tell us about your defense. I know you guys are good defensive players there at Bryan Station, especially linebacker and core and your defensive line.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, I was a defensive coordinator at East Jessamine, and even when I was at Estill as a head coach, I was the defensive coordinator for a little bit of that time too. So I believe in defense, like it's in my core. So, but our linebacking group, I think, is the best group that we got. I mean, we've got Joel. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name, but Joel, he's a fantastic player. He's intelligent, he's fast, and he is just like one of those hardest working guys. I mean, in the weight room, he don't miss reps. He's in there working out. He don't shy away from the weight. He's always in there doing the right thing. And then Ray, we talked about at running back. He also plays linebacker as well. And then we have I'm forgetting his name.
Which one? CJ?
No, Sean.
Oh,
Sean Taylor.
Okay, Sean Taylor.
He has been a fabulous addition this year. He brings a lot of energy to the game, and I feel like he's going to kind of be the one that kind of lifts that defensive group up. Just his ability to play and just his excitement. Like when he's on the field, he's excited to play. Our defensive line is pretty good as well. We're not as big as we've had in the past, but I think we've got really strong guys on the line who are quick. Who are able to, that's been around now for, 4 years. I think 3 of our 4 defensive linemen are all seniors. So that group has been around for a while, so they know all the stunts and all the slants and all the things that we do very well. So I feel like that core right there of our linebackers and defensive line is going to be the difference in our games, because our DBs are great. I mean, obviously you got Jordan back there. Yeah. You've got we got our version of Snoop. I know it's probably not the same version of Snoop that you guys know, but he's a very good player as well, and a couple of young guys playing at corner and safety. CJ Lewis will be one to look out for. He's a sophomore. He's 6'2". He's probably sitting at about 200 pounds.
Wow.
And he's playing safety, and he's playing really, really
There's
well.
always some good sophomores to look out for at Station.
No,
You know,
always has been.
You'll see C.J. Lewis play. I mean, he is a big kid. He's physical, and I mean, I think that he's coming along really well as a sophomore, and he worked his way into that position. I mean, he wasn't even starting in camp or anything like that, but he just kept chipping away at it. He's a great baseball player, so he came to us a little late. But you'll notice him when you watch the game on Friday. You're going to look out there and be like, that's that safety they were talking about, because he's a big boy.
what about your schedule? Can you tell us about the schedule?
So early on is very tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
South
like
Warren.
I said, South Warren, Bull County after that, Corbin, and then Ballard.
Yeah,
So,
it's
I mean,
tough
that's,
teams.
That's some tough teams out there. I mean,
You don't shuck anybody, do you?
no. I mean, obviously, Bull is who they are. Corbin is always right there with Bull every year, battling for a regional championship or a state championship, depending on all the RPI situations. So I mean, they're two great teams. And then Ballard is always tough. I mean, they're always a tough out. Last year, I think we beat them 8-6 or something.
battle.
It was a defensive battle.
Yeah.
I don't even think they scored. I think it was like 8-0.
I think Catholic expects a defensive battle this Friday with Ballard.
I would believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, Ballard's always got a very good team, and it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out. And then after that, I think it kind of Tate's Creek and then Simon Kenton. It's one or the other. Flip, maybe, I can't remember. Another two good 6A opponents.
Yeah.
It's always hard to find 6A opponents. They kind of shy away from us and don't want to play sometimes, and it's kind of makes it difficult. But they stepped up to the plate, want to play, so that's good. And then I think we get into our district schedule with Douglas, Central, and GRC, and then finish the year with South Oldham. So
Okay, that's a good schedule.
Yeah.
GRC can turn around, buddy. They can play some football.
they can. They gave us a tough out last year too.
Yeah.
I mean, we beat them on a last-second field goal. I mean, they were tough last year.
They
So
play good football.
yeah.
They really do.
And now they've got Dane Dameron as their coach, and he's done it. He does a fine job wherever he goes. So it'll be interesting to see how it changes for GRC this year.
They're good. They're good football team.
Yeah.
Okay, what about your scrimmages now? Are you happy with the ways the scrimmages worked out, or?
You want to answer that one?
Oh, that's
Well, I think we played great against LCA. I think the kids were excited to play. They were ready to play. They were prepared for the game, and I think they played great. I think when we went to North Oldham, when we went to that game, I think that game kind of opened our eyes to some of the things that we needed to work on offensively. I think defensively we played pretty well. Made some changes on the offensive side of the ball, and just try things to see what would work and what. I mean, that's what a scrimmage is for. How's this play? How's that play? Against the defense. So, I think all in all, I think we played pretty well. I think we're ready for a Friday night. I think the kids are excited. They're probably tired of hitting each other, so those games are great. And I think it's time to get it rolling now.
How healthy are you?
I mean, fairly healthy.
Pretty healthy.
Yeah. I mean, we got some younger kids that are dealing with being younger kids, not knowing the difference between injured and hurt. But I think we get one of our big offensive tackles back. He's kind of he's like the 6th or 7th man to come in, in case something happens or if we need a sub. He'll be a good addition to have back. And then, I mean, really, that's really about it. I mean, we've stayed pretty healthy for the most part. I mean, it's good. So
we'd like to get him back. He's about 6'3", about 320 something pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just a big kid.
Well, really enjoyed talking to you guys. Anything else, Coach?
No, that's it. Again, I'm very proud of Eric. I feel really good about that. I love Bryan Station. I was there for 19 years coaching.
Wow.
And it was some of my best times. Of course, when it's your first coaching experience is always fun. And just a not funny, but kind of weird story. My very first year at Bryan Station, we won the state championship.
Wow.
My very last year at Lexington Christian, we won the state championship.
Wow.
Wow.
Awesome.
First and last.
First and last.
Coach Meehan, he'll be doing color with us all year on PrepSpin. We got a big schedule. King, who else on our schedule?
For our broadcast schedule?
Yeah.
Well, The only thing I know is we've got Lexington Catholic Ballard Friday night.
Yep.
And then the rest is to be determined.
To be
But
determined.
It'll be good.
It'll be good. I think the second week, LCA is away, and so is Catholic. Catholic's away, I believe.
Yeah, Catholic's a Dunbar.
Oh, yeah, we might look at that. Anyway, big schedule here on PrepSpin as we get ready for the season and everything. Thank you guys for coming in. You did a great job, Coach Markham, and your buddy there, Coach.
Coach Higgins.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you for
That's
having
the
us.
PrepSpin Coaches Show from Rafferty's Restaurant. We thank all the sponsors that helped us make it possible, and we had quite a few of them, Coach.
We did, and that's what we're looking for too. By the way, when we go to your school, any local sponsors you can get would really help us out. So
Yeah. That's it for the PrepSpin Coaches Show. Thanks for being with us. We have a game Friday night at Lexington Catholic with Ballard coming to Lexington, Louisville Ballard and Lexington Catholic Friday night, 7:30. For the coaches from Bryan Station, all the coaches were here, Coach.
That game will be on TV too, by the way, 27.3.
Okay, it's also on TV, so look for that. I think that's 193 on cable,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So it'd be a TV game.
awesome.
And Coach will be gone the next week, but we'll make do.
Yeah.
You know, got to have a good sub. You know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach, all the coaches here on the PrepSpin Coaches Show. This is Gary Ball for Mike Meehan and King of Stream, William Warfield, and for the
The roadie Clyde.
the roadie Clyde, the roadie Clyde. We thank him too. So long from Rafferty's Restaurant. Oh, that's good, guys.
Yeah.